Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for the Tech Guy is provided by CacheFly. CacheFly.com. Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on the Premier Radio Networks on Sunday, January 20th, 2013. This is episode 946. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by Stamps.com. Use Stamps.com to buy and print real U.S. postage the instant you need it, right from your desk. To get this special offer, go to Stamps.com, click the microphone, and enter Tech Guy. And by Gazelle, the fast and simple way to sell last year's gadgets. Find out what your used iPad, MacBook, iPhone, Galaxy S, or other smartphones are worth at Gazelle.com. And by ShareFile. Enhance your workflow. Send files of almost any size easily and securely with ShareFile from Citrix. Try ShareFile today. For a 30-day free trial, go to ShareFile.com, click the radio microphone, and enter Tech Guy. And by Lantronix, maker of the X-Print server. Print from your iPad, iPhone, or any iOS device to virtually any printer. For more information, visit xprintserver.com/twit and enter the offer code TWIT to receive free shipping on your order. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy. And it's time to talk computers, the internet, cell phones and camcorders, MP3s and home theater, all that jazz. At 8888, Ask Leo. That's the phone number. 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. Outside the U.S., you could still call. Just use that Skype thing. Skype out. Is Skype, I'm curious for those of you who use Skype, you remember that Microsoft bought them not so long ago for, what was it, $1 billion, $3 billion, some huge amount of money. And they haven't done a whole lot yet, although they're starting to take advantage of Skype. But I'm curious if you use Skype, and I do. We love it. I use it all the time for all sorts of things. When my daughter spent her junior year abroad in France, I set her up. She brought a laptop. I set her up with a Skype account, and I bought Skype Out, which allowed her to make phone calls from her computer to any phone in the U.S. for $99 a year. It was amazing. And then we would have Skype conversations. $8.5 billion. I kind of got that a little bit wrong. Microsoft paid $8.5 billion. Wow, that's a lot of money for Skype. So you got to figure that they're going to, they want to make something out of this. Now, Skype has some revenue models. Skype is, for those who don't know, and I'm surprised if you don't because it's everywhere now. I just bought a TV that has Skype. The Panasonic Vera has Skype built into it. You still have to buy a camera, but if you have a camera, you can make video phone calls for free. It uses the internet to make audio and or video phone calls. And if you're calling another computer, it's free anywhere in the world, just internet to internet. But you can use Skype, as I mentioned, to make calls to phones, or you can accept calls from phones. In fact, Skype really, for some people, has become their phone. You could put it on most smartphones will support Skype, and tablets, and of course all computers. So it's a pretty interesting product. And but there's not a lot of, I guess there's some money to be made. Like I said, $99 for people use it unlimited calling to the U.S. People use it, I guess, to call internationally it's cheaper than regular long distance, but I guess there's some revenue. I don't know, $8.5 billion. I figure Microsoft bought Skype, for a reason. It's not just as a, hey, this is a good business, let's own this. So I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop, and somewhat it has. If you use Microsoft Messenger, for instance, and you log into your Messenger account, you'll notice that Microsoft says, use Skype. They're turning off the Messenger service, disabling it in March for good. Just like boom. So if you used a Messenger, which is Microsoft's instant messaging package, better get ready March 15th, the Ides of March, Messenger dies. Et tu, Balmer? So I'm wondering, is Microsoft, because Skype is, as a program, standalone program, hasn't changed that much. Is Microsoft going to make any big changes to Skype? What are they going to start for? They have other package, their business program, Link, is very similar to Skype. Are they going to get rid of that too? I see what they're doing with Messenger. So if you use Messenger as a instant messaging program, they're turning it off, and they're saying use Skype instead. And I realize the plan. In fact, I think Microsoft's even admitted this. The plan is, if you're going to use Skype for IM, you got to leave it running all the time. And as long as you've got it running, well, maybe you make some phone calls. Maybe start using it. So it's Microsoft's kind of not so sneaky, pretty obvious way of getting you to turn on Skype and leave it on all the time. Figuring, well, if you got it on all the time, you'll use it to make phone calls too, right? So I'm curious what you think of Skype, whether you use Skype, if you think the service has changed since Microsoft got it. It seems like I'm having more trouble with Skype. I do a bunch of podcasts, a bunch of shows. We use Skype on this radio show for some of our contributors. So Chris Marquardt, our photo guy, uses Skype. So does Johnny Jett. So does Dick D. Bartolo, our Gizwiz. So does Scott Wilkinson, our home theater guy. They all use Skype. And normally if you hear it, it sounds really good. It sounds like they're right next to me, not on the phone, so to speak. And then I have a podcast network. We do about, we do 25 shows, I think. Technology shows during the week when I'm not doing this. And we use Skype almost all the time on those shows to talk to people who aren't in studio. Our studio's in kind of a small town in Northern California. But that doesn't matter because we can talk to anybody, audio, and we use video. But it feels like it's getting a little shakier, a little worse. So I'm just curious if you've had an experience one way or the other with that. Remember we talked about Instagram changing their terms of service, saying we own your photos and implying we might even sell them or certainly use them for advertisements. Users revolted, right? All upset, quit Skype, right? In massive numbers, right? No. Skype responded, by the way, by backing down a little bit, saying, okay, we'll stick with the old terms. It turns out the old terms, according to lawyers, were worse. They just, people didn't know. So for the first time ever, Instagram released its user numbers. Let you know, it's not going down. More than 90 million people, 90 million people use Skype at least once a month. And that number is going up 10% month on month, December to January, during this whole kerfuffle over the terms of service, an increase of 10%. And it's all over the world. Brands are using Instagram now. Instagram is a photo posting service, lets you share your camera phone pictures with other people. Well, I guess we can put that. No, but I knew this. I've been covering this business for a long time. We in the tech press and maybe others in the media make a big deal about terms of service changes and all that, and a few people get upset. But really, no, people don't care that much. Some good numbers on the internet from a service called Pingdom that watches this kind of stuff. In the year 2012, there were 2.2 billion email users. Seems like that's got to be, if you use the internet, you're going to use it for email, right? So that's got to be like the number of people using the internet pretty much. 2.2 billion. 144 billion emails sent every day. Of that, 61%, quote, non-essential. That is spam, newsletter, stuff you didn't really care about. The most popular email client in the world? What do you think? The most used email client. What do you think of that would be? Just guess. It's kind of a fun game. It's not what you'd think. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe you're super smart. It's not what I would think. Mail for the iPhone. Mail for the iPhone, the number one. Well, I guess the iPad too. iOS mail. The number one with more than a third. People thought Gmail, nope. Outlook Express, nope. Outlook, nope. Yahoo, nope. iPhone. That surprises me. 35.6% of all emails sent. Now, Gmail's not doing bad. 425 million Google Mail users globally. That makes it number one, which it hadn't been for a long time. Hotmail was bigger. Yahoo Mail was bigger. Now Gmail's the biggest. 425 million users. Now, remember, that's out of how many billion? 2.2 billion people use it. But that means they have what? 20% of all users? That's not bad. 1 in 5 uses Gmail. Okay, how much would you say of all the email traffic out there, all of it, is spam? Another quiz question for you. 90%, 80%, 50%? How much? 68.8% of all email traffic is spam. And half of that was about pharmaceuticals. 8888 Ask Leo. That's my number. You give me a ring, we're going to talk. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. That means that 34% of all email is for Viagra. More than a third of all email is solicitations. One thing I've learned as I've aged... I probably shouldn't have stopped the ad right there. All right, I got most important thing make sure I'm on the right channel. What is going on? They got Terry Bradshaw acting like Colin Kaepernick. That's hysterical. Handoff? That's really, yeah. No, there weren't any tacklers, by the way. That's pretty funny. They're pretending to be on a field. They're on a green screen. Yeah. Oh, fake quarterback sneak. Look at that. Terry Bradshaw can't even run. 4 points? So, my girlfriend Lisa, who is like a Niners fan since she was in 5th grade, and has been a season ticket holder for almost 20 years, is saying because she's a season ticket holder, if they go to the Super Bowl, we're in the lottery for it, and because she's been a holder for a long time, and she's got a couple of extra entries, so we're hoping we win the lottery because then they're at face value. Yeah. But she says it doesn't matter if we win the lottery. If the Niners are in New Orleans, we're in New Orleans. My best friend's gonna go with it. You have to go. They haven't been there since '84, right, or something like that. Yeah. You have to go. Or how about the Harbaugh? Wouldn't it be great for the Harbaugh brothers against each other? Wouldn't that be great? I remember that last year in the playoffs. Yeah. No, I'm not too warm. Look how cold it is in here. What's happening? It's 65 degrees in this. I'm freezing. No, it was really cold. But now, yesterday it was beautiful, and I see the sun out. I think it's going to be a warm day. You might be in New Orleans as a chaplain? I hope you are, Padre. We're definitely getting together. I told Lisa, let's get a hotel in the French Quarter, but actually I'd love to get some well, 64 is freezing inside. And by the way, it was 65. It's going down. But inside, I'm inside. Oh, yeah, red and gold. That's right. Let's see. How do I do yellow? How do I do yellow? Does that look like red and gold? It kind of does. Yeah, a little bit. A little more gold. How do I get it more gold? More some white? The red a little bit. That's as yellow as it gets. So go down on the red. Maybe. No. Well. That looks like red and gold. That'll work.
Can you see your calls?
I can. Well, I see one call. I see Ed in Chino Hills.
That's all you see?
That's all I see. Maybe you have to hit return or something. Oh, a friend owns a bed and breakfast. Is it a nice bed and breakfast? I would like that. Is it close? Is it close to the Superdome? I guess there's probably a house, an SJ house that you stay in, right, Robert? Kyle's there. We got Kyle and Gina on Sundays.
You're as cold as ice.
I am. I'm freezing.
You're willing to sacrifice our love.
It's freezing. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888. Ask Leo. That's the phone number. 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. And we have a website I should mention, techguylabs.com. That's where you'll find all the, all the show notes and everything from everything I say. James DeRuvo's writing that down. And then after the fact, we make a video of the show available so you can watch or listen to the show. And if you want to go to a specific question, you just go to that question. You'll hear just that question and my answer. And then there's comments beneath it. And I really would beg of you, if you've, I know, I can feel it, that some of you are listening to this show just to catch me out, just to say, no, Leo, you're wrong. And instead of just shouting at the radio, go to the website, techguylabs.com, and type in a comment. Leo, you botched that answer. This is the right answer. Because I figure over time, we're going to make that website really a rich resource for people to get answers to their tech questions. And I give you this pledge. It will always be free. It will always be available. You could search it at any time. We've got a pretty good search in there. A pretty good, excellent search in there. And you should be able to find anything. We even can we organize it by topic. We have tags, so it should be easy to find information there. And as we do this, over a year, I've been doing this show. I celebrated my 9th anniversary a few days ago. January 4th, 2004 was the first episode. So we're going to get all of those shows on there for sure. We won't be able to get all the questions and answers. That's a lot of them. But starting with the website, which was 6 months ago, we're getting everything in there. So in 8 more years, just think of what all the good stuff that will be in there. Let's start our first call today. Ed is in Chino Hills, California. Hi, Ed. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Howdy, Leo.
Hey.
Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for calling.
Okay, I work for a big company, and we've got Sprint as a cell carrier. We have, as our standard issue smartphone, Motorola Admiral XT603.
I never even heard of that.
It's an Android setup, and my problem is we just put in IP addressable security cameras.
Yeah.
And the guy who's in charge of responding to the alarms is 80 years old, and he's like 6.5 feet tall. He's got huge fingers, and he can't work that tiny little physical keyboard. Plus, he's not a computer user at all, not even email. So what do you suggest?
Besides hiring a new guard? Motorola, no, that was ageist of me. Of course not. Motorola Admiral looks a little bit like a BlackBerry. In fact, I know why your business uses it. It's got push-to-talk, so it's like a walkie-talkie. Sprint calls it Direct Connect. They bought Nextel, and I presume it's using Nextel. And I have to point out, if it is using the Nextel network, it's going to stop working soon because Sprint's pulling that network down.
They're migrating all the traffic from the Nextel towers to the Sprint towers. We're going through that problem right now.
Yeah.
But
we'll see how well that works.
For an old guy who's not computer literate, who's got huge fingers, the best suggestion I've been offered is get him an iPad Mini or something that would give him.
Well, what is he doing with this? Is he making is he making calls? What is he doing?
Well, if the alarms go off, he gets a call. We'd like for him to be able to grab a smartphone, the images on the camera, and say it's a false alarm, or no, somebody's breaking through the roll-up.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Let me think about this. Yeah, I think a good idea would be get him an iPad. I presume that those images are on the web?
Yes.
Make sure that
are addressable.
And make sure the company that's making those, I presume you're using a service for this, that it's not in Flash, that it's you'd probably want to check to see if it works on the iPad before you buy one.
Oh, well, they work on our Androids.
Yeah.
Sprint's a 3G setup, so when we view the cameras over our phones, we just get snapshot pictures.
Right.
And then you have to refresh it to see the person in the image moving.
It probably works. So that's cool. So I like that idea. You're saying he probably shouldn't have a smartphone of any kind.
I'm saying that his fingers are so huge.
Yeah.
Our standard issue Motorola.
Yeah, I could see that Admiral's going to be hard. It's really like a BlackBerry, little tiny key.
Right.
Does he need push to talk? Well, actually, he could keep the Admiral, right? He could still use it as a phone. He could still use the push to talk. You just need it for him to see the pictures.
Well, actually, he's got a flip phone. Even the Admiral is
okay.
too techy.
So
for him.
that's fine. So his phone rings. He picks up the phone, and he's now got to go to the web and look at those pictures.
And we're hoping for a smartphone or some device where he could just pull it up, hit a icon on his home screen, and it'll automatically pull the camera.
Couple of possibilities. One is the Sprint does carry the Galaxy Note 2, which is the largest screen smartphone out there. It's 5.5 inches. It's nice, and it might be big enough for him to use. You're going to have to get him at a guinea pig him out there. The other option, of course, would be a tablet. Is it? Again, I want to make sure it's compatible, though. Is it an application you use to look at those pictures, or is it just on the web?
It's on the web.
Okay, password protected on the web. Yeah, so I think that would probably work fine. Anything that could go to a web page would work fine. So I guess the smallest thing you could look at is the Galaxy Note. That's still a phone. It's on Sprint. If you wanted to use a tablet, almost any tablet would work, but it's important, and Sprint will offer tablets, it's important that these tablets work on the 3G network because he may not be near Wi-Fi.
Right.
So it has to be a tablet that supports 3G or 4G. Again, I would always check to make sure it works before you buy the tablet. So, yeah, so Galaxy Note would be the smallest I'd consider. iPad Mini or a Nexus 7 from Google. If he's used to, well, I don't know how used he is to anything, but if he's used to Android.
Not even email.
Not even email. The iPad is probably easier to use in an Android device.
And that counts for a lot.
Yeah, although the Nexus 7, it could easily be set up for him, and it's only $200. Oh, but they don't have 3G. You need to get one with 3G. It's only $200, and you could just set it up so there'd be an icon right on the desktop that says, tap me if the phone if the alarm goes off.
Bingo.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, you could easily do that with either an iPad or an Android device.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, an interesting challenge. What happens if they are bad guys there? Does he run over and beat them up?
Well, then he calls the cops.
Oh, good.
No sweat.
We have the same situation here. The call goes to John, to Jammer B, who runs over and beats up the crooks. No, actually, John, we should do that. John could do that because we have drop cams, don't we? So you could, if the alarm company calls, as it did yesterday when Lisa was delivering our groceries, she didn't turn off the alarm in time because it was pitch black. She couldn't see the keypad. And you got the call from the alarm company. Could you look at drop cam and then say, hey, I see Lisa, and then tell the alarm company, no, it's the boss. Yeah, you could have done that. You didn't, though. You came over. We use John because he lives 3 blocks away. He takes a lot of walks in the middle of the night. Thank you, John. I appreciate it. 8888 Ask Leo. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Lisa was delivering. She goes to Costco every month or so and buys a bunch of crap for the employees. You guys eat crap, by the way. I got to tell you. She feeds you such awful stuff.
She must have some serious vision problems.
Yeah, I do it all the time. Well, I do it with letters because I don't know my number, but I know what the letters are. So you can't see the letters. They're not illuminated. So if she said she had numbers, and I thought, well, if you had numbers, you could see it. It's a name. That's why. So then that does not illuminate the letters. I happen to know where the letters are. Yeah. And she should memorize the numbers, but that's why. No, because I know what the word is, and I type, but I know where I know what the numbers are. But it took me a while. The first time I had to do it, I did actually have to shine a light on it, so that's why. She should just memorize her numbers instead of her name. Yeah. Sorry that you had to come in.
Well, if I had
I know.
But then again, I might not have seen it.
You might not have seen her, and if you don't, but you could do that, and then if you see her, then you could say, "Well, I see the boss there, so," and she's got candy. She's got lots of candy. We get them Red Bull. We try to get them hopped up. So we get them Red Bull, Cracker Jack. I noticed there was a ton of Cracker Jack last time.
Caffeinated soda.
Caffeinated sodas of all kinds. What else do we feed you guys? Oatmeal. I was mad at Tech TV. They stopped doing oatmeal. Pardon me? Dried fruit. She gets dried fruit, sometimes fresh fruit. Yeah. That doesn't last so long. She's trying to feed you healthy. But you know what goes first, of course. The junk food. Chex Party Mix. Cheez-Its. Yep, Cheez-Its. Nexus 7 has 3G. Okay, I wasn't sure. There's Black Blood of the Earth left at home, but not here, no. I would offer it to you. Whoa. Look at this. This is good. Jerky treats. Who's supposed to eat this? Who's supposed to eat the jerky treats? Oh, that's for Ozzy, probably. That's the biggest box of jerky treats I ever saw. Oh, and she loves this stuff. She told me to get this for her. She loves that crap. Oh, Cliff Bars. Look at all this. You don't have to bring me all the food. It's okay. Fiber One, that's healthy. Chewy Bars. What is this? Pistachios. That's healthy. We get them nuts, macadamias. Oh, this is healthy. This is good. We should feed every employer should buy giant boxes of candy bars. Good Lord. Am I a good boss or what? We're just trying to keep people from quitting, basically, by bribing them with candy. Look at that. This is good. She got good food. And you know how long this stuff lasts? A week. It's as if Jeff Stewart doesn't get to eat at home. That's for Ozzy. In fact, if you give me one of those, I'll give him. Yeah, let me. I don't think that's for humans. Well, I know she shouldn't mix it in with the. You should look at what you're eating also. I don't know. Huh? Oh, he's not here. What am I doing? I'm opening this up and there's no dog. No, Lisa took him. He wanted to watch the Niners game. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to? I see. It's always a debate. It's always a debate where Ozzy goes. I'm sorry. He's a sweet dog. He's a really sweet dog. You like dogs? Ozzy is a cat dog. Lisa's a cat lover, and she's the first dog she's ever liked. Because he's 7 pounds. He's really adorable. He's a Papillon. Yeah, he was really expensive. But you don't have to get a purebred Papillon. That was nutty. That wasn't my choice. For the kids. Even Sarah, who's a big cat lover. Yeah.
Carbonite your billboard, Leo.
Thank you.
What do you want? Nip, snack, and whip, back and patty, whack and ink and knack and double rack and scowl rack and cracker jack and cracker jack.
Dup-a-doop-a-doop. That's what the bad guys were breaking in to steal yesterday. The Cracker Jack. Kyle Benham, our musical director, once again showing his creativity. Chris Marquardt's in the house. That's great, Chris. We will talk 1 hour from right now. Mark it on your calendar, and we'll review our photo assignment with Chris Marquardt at 33 and a half past the next hour on the Tech Guy Show. Back to the phones we go. Aaron is in Mesa, Arizona. Hi, Aaron. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy.
Leo, I called to say you're wrong. No, I didn't.
I know it. You know, people come in every once in a while. They say, yeah, I listen just to catch you.
Actually, Leo, well, you know this is what I do. This is Aaron B. from the chat room, by the way. Hello, chat roomer.
Aaron B. in the chat room.
That's right. Well, I'm in there, but I'm not typing because I'm talking to you.
Yeah, Aaron is one of our regulars in the chat. Are you a mod or are you just a regular?
No. Well, actually, I mean, not to take away from. I'm not in the chat room. I've never been a mod in the chat room because I like being social.
Right. Mods are the meter maids of the chat room.
Yeah.
They do a tough job. Everybody hates them.
No, absolutely. No, I give it up to the mods. They do a thankless job for sheer love, and they get blamed for everything that's wrong with the internet.
Yeah, it's true. I get emails every week
Oh, yeah.
Your mod gave me a parking ticket, and I was only there half an hour.
Dude, I was a mod for you for a while on the Leoville forums back when
I remember.
we used things like forums.
Yeah, way back when.
It was like, I remember the dude who was like threatening to take me, like he wanted to take me to court or something like that because he couldn't cuss. And I was like, well, dude.
No, it's not free speech in a private forum.
This is like living.
I'm not allowed to swear on the radio, and you're not allowed to swear in my chat room. It seems simple.
Yeah, I don't understand the word's family friendly. They don't seem to understand. Yeah, whatever.
What can I do for you, Mr. B?
So here's my question. Well, dude, besides the fact that everything that you do every day, except Fridays and Mondays, so here's the thing. I'm trying to be good.
This guy even knows my days off. That's how big a fan he is.
Dude, well, I'm less of a fan than I used to be, but yeah, I'm.
What do you mean? Wait a minute. Whoa. You're less of a fan than you used to be?
250 pounds less. I'm just saying.
Congratulations. You've lost that much weight?
Yes, sir. And I wanted to also to congratulate you. You're looking quite svelte yourself.
Wow. I'm impressed. 250 pounds. How did you do it, Aaron?
I discovered that Cheetos and the couch are not the answer to life.
I used to have a producer. Her name was Renee Aricchio. She produced the TV show on Tech TV, who had this great invention. I hope that she went on after television to invent this. She wanted to invent something called Cheeto mitts, because she found when she was sitting and watching TV, her hands would get all orange from eating Cheetos. So she wanted to invent mitts, gloves.
That's funny.
You wear while you're eating your Cheetos, and then you throw them away. Yeah, she could have made.
You know what that is? That screams Kickstarter.
That's a Kickstarter. Well, we didn't have that in those days. Now she probably would have been Kickstartering it. You're exactly right.
That would be Kickstarting it. We'd make $300 million.
Yeah, the chat room, which of course is the example of my this is how I do my research. They love the idea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they love the idea.
I think I see the future. Now I know how I can pay to go on the Apple cruises.
Strike It Rich says 250 pounds. Did you used to be a sysadmin, Aaron? Anyway, enough chit chat. What can I do for you?
Enough chit chat because the people on the radio don't care. They're driving, going, "Shut up."
Yeah.
So my question is this: I'm being good and starting off the year with a clean install of Windows 7 to get out the gunk and stuff like that from my system.
I think you know this from listening. That it's a great idea to do that once a year. Kind of think of it as spring cleaning for your computer. Just wipe it out and start over. It will always run better.
I don't think it's as important as it used to be, and I still think it's important to do.
It's kind of fun. It's fun because you can think about what you put on it, and it's so nice and clean and fresh.
Yeah, and you find new programs you didn't know about, stuff like that. It keeps you in touch with what's going on. You don't just get used to it.
I recommend a program called Ninite, N-I-N-I-T-E.
Okay.
That what it does is it lets you pick with a checklist all the programs that you typically install, and you just run the Ninite installer. And it will install all the apps that you typically want on your system, and it's things like Skype, Chrome, Firefox, free stuff for the most part that you just automatically, I'm always going to install VLC, I'm always going to install the K-Lite codecs and Audacity, I'm always going to install Flash, Paint.net, and so it's just the kind of common stuff everybody wants. You check this all off, it makes one little application, you run it, you walk away. When you get back, it'll all be installed.
Actually, you've already started to answer my question, because does that also work with drivers as well? Like you can share off other things you need to
Alas, no. It would be nice, wouldn't it, if it would just... That's what we need, a Ninite for drivers.
Yeah. If there's something that would scan my system and make sure, oh, no, I see that, this driver is out of date, update this and this and the other thing, that would be kind of cool.
You know what I really like about Ninite is it has built in this thing. Some of these applications try to install toolbars, the Ask toolbar or the Alexa toolbar. It's a way of they make a little bit money. It automatically says no to all the toolbars. You don't even have to think about it. They do have Ninite Pro. Now, let me look at this. This is for businesses. Maybe this will do, it might do a little more. It might do drivers. And it's designed for multiple PCs and all of that. This is interesting.
That'd be cool. That'd be handy because we have 3 computers in the house. Well, actually more than that, but 3 computers that I regularly use.
Yeah.
And if I could have something that would do that, I'd pay money for that.
My general opinion is if you let, as part of your Windows 7 reinstall or any Windows reinstall, you're going to, of course, add all the critical updates after you install from the disk. Sure. And part of that will be Windows updating drivers. And in general, I would accept those drivers. I wouldn't feel the need to get better than that.
Okay. Because I'm back from the day when you used to have to hunt around and look for specific drivers.
Yeah, Windows does a pretty good job of both recognizing hardware and picking the appropriate driver. The one exception could conceivably be the video driver, where sometimes there's more than one. The other, actually, there's two exceptions. So that would be one. The exception would be you might want to use the NVIDIA reference driver instead of the manufacturer's driver, which Windows has. Windows will always prefer the Windows Hardware Quality Lab WHQL approved driver, and that may not always be the most recent or the best driver. The other issue might be if there's proprietary drivers from your manufacturer. Dell and others have motherboard drivers and so forth that are proprietary to that particular hardware. Almost always, Windows will already know about that. Certainly with Dell, they would. They're big enough. Somebody in the chat room recommends Driver Genius. Look at this. This might be what you were looking for, Aaron. Your drivers will always be up to date with Driver Genius. Automatic driver search, backup, and restore. That's what you want, right? Backup my drivers, then restore them. A download manager, a database of 80,000 different kinds of hardware, and it shows you all the hardware vendors it supports. I have not used this, but this Driver Genius, it's from driver-soft.com, and it's $30. So that's interesting. I hadn't heard of it. Web 9797 says there's another one called Driver Max that's free. A free driver download program for Windows. That might be one. It's free to try. Looks like they do have a paid version as well. So I'm glad you asked that question. I hadn't really thought about drivers in a long time. Generally, I just let Windows do its own thing. I've been playing with a new Windows 8 laptop from Acer, the M series. It's kind of a mid-range, i5 laptop, built-in CD. It's not an ultralight. Touch screen. And I have to say, it is absolutely my conviction at this point that if you do want to try Windows 8, and I think for most people, there's no urgency. Stick with Windows 7. But if you say, I want to see what the next, version of Windows is, absolutely get a touch device, even if it's a laptop or a desktop. It's not that you'll use it all the time, but Windows 8 really is touch-focused. You'll be much happier. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Well, the reason Mac people don't have to worry about drivers is because they're using all Apple hardware. So there's never a question about what video card you've got, and Apple makes sure that you have the appropriate drivers automatically. But I don't need to tell you, that's both an advantage and a disadvantage. It's the advantage of the Mac ecosystem is you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. The disadvantage is you don't have the choice. You don't have much choice, right? There are some companies that will make Mac versions of their hardware, their cards. And certainly if you have external peripherals, you'll have to worry about those drivers. Driver pack solution. Well, please, James DeRuvo, if you capture all of these suggestions. Yes, Chris Marquardt will be today at 12:30 Pacific. I have not tried any. Nightstar's asking if I've tried any of the Android stick devices. I have not tried those, but I will. Hey, before we go much farther, maybe I better just mention our friends at Stamps.com. What do you think? You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Did you know that? I can't believe the rates are going up again. Now, does that mean for you when you hear that? Does that mean you're going to go to the post office, buy new stamps, or get those forever stamps? Or is that what you're going to do? Well, I got a better idea. Stamps.com. Now, this is probably not if you mail one thing a day or a year. But if you send out a lot of mail, if you're a business that's sending out bills, if you're a seller on eBay or Etsy, PayPal, you sell stuff online and you do your own fulfillment. This turns you into a pro fulfillment house. Stamps.com. It does all the stuff that you want it to do. Of course, it starts by printing U.S. postage on your computer and your printer. You don't need a postage meter or anything like that. You just need a Stamps.com. But it's better than that because you also get discounts you can't get at the post office. You get up to 21% on express mail. With a USB scale. You just plop your letter on the scale or package on the scale. It tells Stamps.com how much it weighs. You print exactly the right postage out. You can print right on the envelope. And by the way, it's not just the postage. Your return address, your company logo, the customer's address, and it'll take that stuff from QuickBooks, from your address book, from Amazon or Etsy or PayPal, all the websites. I really like Stamps.com. I think you'll like it too. Now, we've got a special deal. Now, probably if you go to Stamps.com, you'll see the no-risk trial offer. Click the microphone in the upper right-hand corner and enter TECH space GUY, Tech Guy, 2 words. And that $80 value becomes a $110 value, including $55 in postage you can use over the life of your subscription, a free digital scale, $5 supply kit, and a 4-week trial. Pretty good, huh? If you do a lot of mailing in your business, you got to find. We use Stamps.com like crazy. Stamps.com. The offer code is TechGuy. That's a great deal, too. We thank Stamps.com for supporting the podcast version of the Tech Guy Show. Those are podcast ads. Wow, the Motorola Admiral. That looks like it's a business-specific mil-spec direct connect, $350, but they don't sound. It says out of stock, so I don't think they sell them anymore. You want more numbers? This is fun. This is from that Pingdom. 0.22% of all worldwide emails comprise some form of phishing. That's not so much, huh? The number of websites. There's 634 million websites. That's 51 new websites this year. 43% of the top 1 million sites are U.S. That's less than half. I will like another soup.
Okay, corned beef and cabbage. One.
Oh, look.
9:32 is your live read, Leo.
Thank you, sir.
Great excitement, enthusiasm. I can feel the enthusiasm coursing through my veins right now.
If you live in Atlanta, you have my deepest apologies for Kyle Benham. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Probably Kyle realizes, even though this is the radio, Kyle can kind of imagine that I am, in fact, wearing a little bit of San Francisco's 49er regalia. I've changed the lighting in the studio to red and gold, and I keep looking over at the TV to see if the game has begun. But other than that, I don't really care what happens. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number. Let's get back to the phones. And Dave, not sure where Dave's calling. Where are you calling from, Dave?
Calling from the Bronx, New York.
From the beautiful Bronx. Nice to talk to you.
Great to talk to you, Leo. I have a question about Final Cut Pro 7.
Okay.
I teach in a media studio here in the Bronx, and ever since I upgraded my machine to operating system 10.8, the log and transfer tool seems to be broken. It no longer recognizes AVC HD cards. It looks at the private folder as a package and not a folder. And log and transfer is completely busted, and I can't get anywhere with user forums on Apple, called Apple Tech Support, and they don't no longer support Final Cut Pro 7, so I'm kind of up against
Yeah, we use Final Cut like crazy. So log and transfer is a very handy feature where you have a bunch of tapes, or I guess they don't use tapes anymore. You could, though, or memory cards, and you have, so in other words, a bunch of unsorted video, and you're copying it over and logging the cuts as you're copying them over, right?
Yes, correct.
And that's handy because generally anybody who's doing video editing it sounds like you're a pro.
Yeah, you could say that. I worked in television broadcasting for 5 years before moving into teaching, so I've used a lot of it.
I have no idea. We don't use log and transfer here because basically all the editors have to do here is put a beginning, a middle, and an end on and send it out. So even though we use Final Cut Pro, we don't use the new Final Cut whatever it is, 10. I don't think we use log and transfer. I don't know. Does anybody in the chat room know anything about this? The good news is there are still many great Final Cut user groups and so forth where people who are continuing to use older versions of Final Cut want to support themselves. You almost have to. There is a Final Cut Pro user group directory on the Apple site. Let me see what we got here in New York. There's quite a bit of stuff. The Moving Pictures Collective of New York City. Looks like a Final Cut users group. So these communities, and then there are many online as well. These communities are fantastic because they really are exactly where you'd go. I would probably go to the FCPUG, the Final Cut Pro user group website out of DC, and look at their forums, and that'd probably be a good place to go. I bet you if it's happened to you, there are others it's happened to, Dave.
Oh, yeah, it's all over the Apple user forums as well. It seems like thousands of people are having the same problem, but nobody seems to be able to post a solution.
Thank you, Apple. You know, I talked to the guy, this was last year at NAB, I talked to the guy who, he cuts advertisements and promos in Hollywood. And he was an early Final Cut advocate. And he says, you know, I was the guy who went around to all the editors and really evangelized for Final Cut and got a lot of them to change from Avid to Final Cut. And he says, almost to a person, they are changing back, either changing to Avid or going to Adobe Premiere because they feel that Apple has abandoned the professional editor. There's not been a new Mac Pro, the high-end Macintosh you'd use for this product, in a year or more. We're still waiting. In fact, I joined a Facebook group that says, we want a new Mac Pro, and we want it now.
I'm
Apple,
running the 6-core now, the latest one you could get with the 6-core here at home. And it's wonderful. But
me too. I'm looking at my Mac Pro thinking, is this the end of the line? Now, Tim Cook said we'll have one at the end of 2013, so it's another year wait. Here's my opinion. Apple is making so much money on iOS now that they really don't want to devote too many resources to the professional. It's a small market, Dave. I think an important market, but I think they've really just decided, you know, Apple's not a huge company. They can't afford, there are not many companies that can, really, to divide their efforts up among a number of different platforms. The money for them is now in iOS. It's not in the Macintosh. And, you know, while Tim Cook swears up and down, we love the Macintosh, it's an important, in fact, I just saw an email from him. It says, an important part of our business, we're doing a lot of R&D, we're excited about what's coming. That's all horse pucky. That's marketing nonsense. He's not going to, I mean, if he were a stand-up guy, he would tell the truth and say, well, I got to tell you, we love the Mac Pro, we love the Macintosh platform, it's what got us here, but we just don't have the resources to devote to too many platforms. And now more than half of our revenue, and increasingly so, is based on portable devices like the iPad and the iPhone. So God bless you. Go use Adobe Premiere. He should be saying that, but he's not going to say that.
It's frustrating that, you know, as a teacher, you know, we spent a huge chunk of money, which is hard to come by an education, on this Final Cut Pro Studio 3 right before Final Cut Pro 10 came out, which I'm not real excited about anyway because my other pro user friends in the business don't like it. And,
I think from a point of, if you were starting from scratch as a school, Final Cut Pro 10 would be a good choice because it's cheaper, much. It's in the App Store, so it's automatically updated. I mean, you know, and it's a little bit easier to use, and I think it will have all the features eventually. It doesn't yet, but it will have all the features eventually of Final Cut Pro Studio. But
even to not support a piece of software 12 months after it was purchased?
Isn't that frustrating?
Yeah, very frustrating.
I mean, all I can do is share your frustration and tell you that Apple, despite what they say, to all evidence, is abandoning the Pro market. Think about it. It's a minor market compared to the iOS market. It's thousands, not millions, of people.
Sure.
And you know, it's too bad. Now, what they've told me, you know, the problem is we've already seen this from Apple. They'll say one thing and do another. Steve Jobs said we'll never make a 7-inch tablet. The best-selling iPad, in fact, probably the hot iPad from now on, is the 7-inch tablet. He said, nobody ever wants to watch movies on a small device. Of course, they immediately put movies. Nobody reads books anymore. We're not going to do a book. Over and over again, Steve has lied, basically, for marketing purposes. So you can't trust what Apple says publicly. You just can't. We know that they lie for marketing purposes. L-I-E, lies. You know, let's say it. Let's tell it as it is. So you can't trust what they say. You can only look at what they do. And I think when you look at what they do, the evidence is clear. I've heard people say, well, no, remember, we're pro users at Apple. We use all these tools at Apple. Yeah, fine, but the guy making the decision upstairs doesn't use those tools. He's looking at the bottom line. He's got stockholders to appease. He's going where the money is, and it isn't in the pro market. So what I would suggest you do is, go to the users groups. This is how it was in the early days of computing. We supported ourselves. There was nobody out. The companies couldn't support us, so we went to user groups, and that's one of the reasons there's such strong Final Cut user groups. And I have so many friends who teach Final Cut who are in this business. I should reach out to them and see what they say about Login Store. I'm sorry, Dave, I don't have a better answer. I could just share your frustration. That's about all I can do. And I do, believe me, I do. Andrew and Salinas, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Andrew.
Good morning. The game is about to start.
Shh.
Anyways,
nobody knows that I'm watching football.
Yeah, well, you're good at multitasking.
You know, I put up a video from last week when I was watching. Oh, we got to take a break. I was watching the football game, and it was shocking, and I was going crazy, but I did not miss a beat. I did not miss a beat. All right, we'll come back right after the break. Stay here, Andrew. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. The gold Heil PR40. What happened to that? We sent it back to repair it, and it still was a little buzzy or something. It wasn't working right. So I'm using a better sounding. I made a resolution. What's interesting about these mics, the Heil PR40, that he makes them by hand. So each one has its own, is a little different, has its own characteristics. So what we do is we test a bunch of them. You know, maybe we own 20 of them. How many? I don't know. We don't own a ton of them. And when I find one that has a sound I really like, I put my name on it. I say, that's Leo's mic. So I don't care what the outside looks like. You know, Wynton Marsalis plays a unfinished trumpet, an unburnished trumpet, and it looks really kind of beat up. He says it sounds better. Sounds better. You know, I'm not happy about all the cockiness I'm getting from Niners fans. Lisa says, we're going to win. We're going to the Super Bowl. I said, Lisa, don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. It's going to be tough. It's not easy. This is the team with the best league in the best record in the NFL. And use the promo code. It's not going to be easy. And by the way, to the guy who said I couldn't even name 5 Niners, what do you think? Who could not name Colin Kaepernick? Aren't we happy with him? When I went to a preseason game and saw him, and he was doing the same scrambling, running stuff, and I said, I like this kid. Let's get this Smith out of here. I really liked him, and he wasn't doing his progressions and say, was a little bit. He's a rookie, but boy, he's really buffed up. He is looking good. I think he's a franchise player. I think he's important. Anyway, and it's really nice to see somebody who can both run and pass. I know. Isn't that amazing? Lisa's been just for 2 years saying, I hate Alex Smith. I hate Alex Smith. I hate Alex Smith. He wasn't that good. He was okay. But we just didn't have a great, we've been spoiled. We had Joe Montana, and we had Steve Young. We've been spoiled. The interesting thing is, this is the thing that worries me. When you're running, you get hit. And look at RG3. I mean, he may not play again, right? For the Skins. And I'm by the way, I know this is a silly. I'm not a football fan, but I kind of have absorbed it. I think if Robert Griffin comes back, the third comes back, they were saying this after last week's game, that this is kind of a new style in the NFL. These guys have not run in the past because they don't want to get hit. And if you get these really strong, well, he's got a pretty serious injury. I don't know if he's coming back. I hope he's back. And I hope he's 100%. Who is that? It looks like the Oak Ridge Boys. Let's see. It looks like them. It's Atlanta, so they're going to have. Looks like the Oak Ridge Boys. So we don't get the audio here. I can only watch the. Oh, that's neat. I always love it when they show the soldiers watching. That's so awesome. I should take off my hat. People thought I'd shaved my head in the 90s.
land of the free and the home of the
You're tuned to Premier Channel 7. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy, will begin at 6 minutes past the hour from Premier Radio Network.
You get a seat license, and then you can get tickets. Yeah, she really was like, I said, buy them. Just buy them. You can always sell the seat license. It'll be worth something. But then we'll have to drive down. We'll have to get a hotel room. I mean, it's going to be... Yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, okay, I know where it is. Yeah. Yeah. It'll be a Candlestick. You know, I used to go to Giants games at Candlestick. It was just... Yeah, I know Sunnyvale very well. I worked at KLOK in San Jose.
This is Premier Channel
That was
7.
Dave Allen.
Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy, will begin at 6 minutes past the hour from Premier Radio Network.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, Saturday night on KGO, yeah. Podcast. Yeah, yeah. And then we had a chat room then, even back then. In fact, Robert Scoble was the moderator in the chat room. Way back when.
You're tuned to Premier Channel 7. Leo Laporte, the Tech
Wow.
Guy, will begin at
Thank
6
you.
minutes past the hour from Premier Radio Networks.
Oh, that's nice. You can actually do data entry while you're listening? That's nice. You've got two brains. You've been doing it a long time, probably, and you're just automatic. Mm-hmm. You're just in your fingers.
You're tuned to Premier Channel 7. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy, will begin at 6 minutes past the hour from Premier.
I can understand listening to music, but stuff with words would be hard. Yes, me too. Yeah, I love my Mini. Oh, smart. You were smart. Ah. Yeah, I didn't get the data either because I don't take it out of the house. Oh, that's a good. That's what I figured. I could always use the phone. Yeah.
Radio Network.
Mm-hmm. It's not. Here's overhead or something. Yeah. How do you like the note? Isn't that great? Yeah, me too. I still have my Note 1 right here. I should have done that. Isn't that awesome? It's the greatest phone. I'm such a fan.
Tech Guy will begin at 6 minutes past the hour from Premier Radio Network.
Ah. Yeah, who needs it? You got it all. Oh, what'd you get? Awesome. Asus are really good. That's a good choice. No, don't ever get HP. Asus. Horrible. Asus is good, though.
You're tuned to Premier
Good.
Channel 7. Leo Laporte,
Smart.
the Tech Guy, will begin at 6 minutes past the hour from Premier Radio Networks.
That's great. How much? Oh, don't tell me in front of him, but that's good. That's a good deal. I like Asus. I think they're my current. In my opinion, it's one of my favorite. Yeah. And HP, they just put such crap on there.
You're tuned to Premier Channel 7. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy, will begin at 6 minutes past the hour from Premier Radio Network.
Because she's wearing tight pants. That's why they have her down there. I agree. It bothers me. I've never liked that. Yeah. It seems so retro. Oh, well. It's very kind of you. You're going to make me choke. I'm so glad you did that. Are you going to stay for Twitter or just stay for this? It's a long time. You're going to get bored. He's going to be bored to tears. Oh, Chad will be... Oh, good. Chad will be here soon. Stand by. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. And it's time to talk computers, the internet, cell phones and camcorders, MP3 players and home theater, and anything with a chip in it. Phone number is 8888-ASK-LEO. That's toll free from anywhere in the United States. But I know we have listeners, thanks to the magic of the internet, all over the world, and you can call using Skype out or something like that, and it still won't cost you anything. Usually those outbound calls are free if to a toll-free number, which that is 888-827-5536. Everything I say is recorded for posterity on our website, or search techguylabs.com. Actually, we even put video and audio of the show up there after the fact, techguylabs.com. Now, we were talking to Andrew and Salinas before the news so rudely interrupted. Hello, Andrew.
Hi, Leo. I'm back. Okay, I have a NAS box. I have a 2 gigabyte NAS box that's mirrored.
Okay.
And I need a search software. So that I tried Copernic. Maybe you've heard of it?
Yeah, I like that.
Is that a good one?
Here's my favorite. You mean search on the hard drive because you've got so much stuff on there, right?
If I'm at my desktop or my laptop, I can type in a query and it'll search everything.
Yeah, that's what you want. There are a lot of ways to do this. This is my current favorite, which is called X1. You could try it free, but it is a commercial product.
Okay.
X1.com. It does some things I really like. It pre-indexes, but it does it without, it does it kind of in the background. And once it's fully indexed, it keeps it indexed easily. And then, which is really cool, you just type the first few letters of what you're looking for, and it can be email contents, it could be document contents, file names, anything.
Perfect.
And it will start populating immediately. So it's really a very, once you become an X1 user, you really won't want to use anything else.
Okay, great. I greatly appreciate that. Yeah, that was my question.
Good. It will search into more than just your network attached storage. It'll search into SharePoint. I think you can include the web as well, although you probably wouldn't want to. You get too much spurious stuff. This used to be a completely free program. I just really, really like it. I wonder how much it is. I'm just curious now that they charge. There is a free trial, which I would, of course, recommend the free trial. It's not horribly expensive. $50. That's not terrible. And then if you want, you can, for $20, you can get their, added support. That's something businesses want. You probably don't need. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. There are probably other programs. I wonder, doesn't Google have a desktop search? I think it does. That would be free. And I'm sure there are other companies that offer something similar. Google Desktop Search. Yeah. You can download that as well. Spotlight on the Macintosh, sure. But I do like X1 because it'll search everything that's attached, including those big NAS drives. Philip in Riverside, California. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Philip.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. What can I do for you?
Thank you. First-time caller, and
welcome.
I just noticed on my computer when I was accessing some sites, well, not sites, but just getting on, I have McAfee as for my protection, virus protection, and it indicated that I had an intruder. And I clicked on the icon for the McAfee, and it showed the IP address and also MAC. And I've done as much searching as I possibly can trying to block. I did mark him as an intruder, but what's interesting, every time I get on the computer, he gets off. And it's like instantaneously as soon as I log on. It's like he's like, taking off.
What the heck is this McAfee finding? Intruder. Intruder alert, intruder alert. I can't even think what it is that is going on here. Is it implying that this guy is actually using your computer against your will?
I don't know if it's.
Is it an attack?
Or backpacking my internet access.
Intruder alert.
I don't know what that could be.
Could anybody access, like if I get on a site that, there's a virus, now everything says I'm secure.
I don't, what an intruder says to me is that somehow somebody has broken through your router, which is non-trivial unless the router has a known flaw, and is in your network looking at your stuff.
Exactly, and that's my concern.
But I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's what's really going on. I think probably McAfee is remember, McAfee is not my favorite, by the way. I should explain that I just don't like McAfee. I don't like Norton or McAfee. I think they're bloated. It's the stuff. Everybody has it because it's free, right? Comes with your computer.
I kind of look at Norton as a virus itself.
I agree, and McAfee sort of is too. So what I want to know is, well, what does it mean? It's in its interest to scare the heck out of you, right?
Oh, it's got me alarmed for sure.
Yeah. Oh my! And then you need to keep using McAfee, right? So that whatever's going on. But I wonder, first of all, okay, it detected an intruder, didn't do anything about it apparently, and I wonder what it means. Now, so I said what intruder means, and that what I would be worried if somebody's logging into your network, got through your router somehow. Let me see. The chat room. Thank you very much, chat room has given me a link to a McAfee forums where they talk about this. Thank you, PDO999. Community McAfee. What intruder alert? What do I do? I have McAfee Security Center, and I repeatedly get an intruder alert. It always says the same IP address. I check block, but it keeps coming back. See, that's to me. This is what's happening to you. That's to me what makes this bogus. Firewall, you've got. Router, you've got. How is this guy getting in? Is it a wireless network?
I'm not wireless on my computer, but
is it a Wi-Fi router?
The router itself is.
But do you use it Wi-Fi? Do you use the Wi-Fi?
No, I don't. Well, I do for the PS3.
Oh, okay.
Wi-Fi.
What's the IP address of the attacker?
Oh, you know what? I don't even. I'm away from my computer. Yeah. I'm actually on the road. I wish I had written it down.
In the help there is according to this thread, if you go to McAfee's help, there's something called working with alerts. No, that's not going to do anything. If you're running a wireless network, you keep seeing someone log in. Do you use password protection on your Wi-Fi? I think we found the problem.
I did on my computer.
Okay. So when you set up your Wi-Fi, really important to turn. Otherwise, that might be what this is. It might be your neighbor is using your Wi-Fi.
I was wondering. But what's interesting, on the internet, I clicked on how do I do a reverse search for IP address? And
if it's a hacker, that's not going to do anything because they hide.
Gave me a site.
Listen to me. This is what you need to do. You need to go into your router settings and turn on encryption. Turn on WPA2 encryption.
Okay.
And you will never see this again, I predict. What I think is happening, you just by your saying I don't know, tells me you probably don't have a password on your router.
Well, no, I don't. But I've also tried to research my router, and I can't. I know I found the paperwork on my.
You don't know what the brand name of the router is? What's the brand name? Did you get it from the DSL carrier? That's probably why, right?
Yeah, I got it through Mediacom.
Yeah. So you need to call them and say, what's my router and how do I change the settings? And then you need to turn on encryption. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I was going to tell him to turn wireless off, but then he said, but I use it for my PS3. It's an open access point, so of course there's an intruder.
Have you heard postage rates are changing again? You know what that means.
Of course there's an intruder. Intruder alert. Of course there's an intruder. What'd you expect?
Intruder alert! Intruder alert! Computer and printer. Stamps.com, and the postage rates are always updated automatically, so I don't have to even worry about it. And unlike those postage meter companies,
Computer, run a level 1 scan for intruders.
with stamps.com, you always get the exact postage.
Okay.
Any letter or package.
The ISP should absolutely have turned that on. You're absolutely right. The fact that it didn't turn it on is a little weird.
Intruder alert! Intruder alert!
That's the one I should have used. Okay, come on, Colin. You got to come back.
$110 bonus offer, including a digital scale and up to $55 free postage. Go to stamps.com before
Second
you do
and the
anything
third
else.
in line.
The microphone at the
Not
top
good.
of the homepage and type Leo. Stamps.com. Use my name, Leo. I made a resolution.
It's a little scary that they scored first possession.
To work smarter and to spend less time at the office. That seems like a contradiction, doesn't it? Nope.
That's right. This could be just a replay. There was a turnover last week.
And coworkers
This could be just that could be it. That could be over. It could be over for the Falcons now. That was your
I could
last
even present from my
drive.
iPad. I could join a meeting from my iPad. Go to meeting. I'm telling you, the thing is amazing. And I want you to try it.
You don't
Share
need
the same screen so you can
In fact, Colonel Klink,
documents in real time. And
none of that other stuff's going to help you.
You're making that connection.
Except
that
WPA2.
visual connection, too.
If you do that,
seeing
it's adequate.
Clients and colleagues just like you were in person. Will you please try GoToMeeting? It is the ultimate.
Yeah, I think
in
Final Cut
online
Pro is
meeting.
out, isn't it?
Right now, I've got it free for 30 days for you. Plenty of time to get an idea of what GoToMeeting can do for you. All you have to
Yes,
do is
curiosity. I know nothing at all about computers. I am an ignorant fool, but thank you for being there, and I count on your help. I count on you having the answers for me, sir. Bless you for being here. Oh, they're already punning. Eesh. Who is this host, this Leo Laporte? Who is this Leo Laporte of which you speak? That's all right. He can keep listening. No, don't kick him. I think it's funny. Yeah, we're using, Brett, some interesting LED lights, RGB lights. I don't know what the brand name is. I think they're really intended more for clubs than for studio lighting. Let me look. Is this Light Force? Is that? I think it's Light. ROBE. Those are the and then the Light Force with the number 4 for instead of FOR. So they're great because we can do any color background we want. I have a little mixer over here that I can change the colors. It's fun. We have our own kitchen, but this comes from across the street. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, we used to have lunch every Thursday. We'd have Mara come make us lunch. Oh, I got 4 ads. I got to do some ads. Pardon me? No. It got to be too much of a hassle.
You don't have to come and confess. We're looking for you. We don't mind. Intruder alert. Intruder alert.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy, 8888. Ask Leo. That's the number. If you have a question, a comment, a suggestion, you want to talk high tech, I'd love to talk high tech with you. So it's kind of irresponsible of your internet service provider to set you up with a router, which is, I think, what happened here, and then not configure the router securely. It's just asking for trouble. I would guess, although you'd have to get more information from the antivirus or the security software to see exactly what's happening. But I would guess that what it's telling you is somebody's using your Wi-Fi. And if you don't, and the reason I guess that is if you haven't password protected your Wi-Fi, you're basically saying, use my Wi-Fi. Remember the caller we had a few years ago, the woman who called and said, my internet service provider is Linksys, but it's not been working lately. I said, well, where did you get this internet? Did you buy this? No, it just was there. I just started using it. Somebody in your neighborhood thinks they've got free internet. It's very simple to secure a Wi-Fi router. Somebody in the chat room said, "Yeah, I've got MAC address filtering turned on, and I've got DHCP turned off. I'm using static IP addresses, and I've got WPA2. I'm paranoid." You know, none of that really makes any difference at all, except WPA2. That's all you really need. WPA2 is a form of encryption. In fact, usually, if you go into your router setup, and you do that in the browser, you'll need to know what address the router is in your browser. For instance, Links is 192.168.1.1. It's always 192.168.something.something or 10.0.something.something because those are private IP addresses. But your manual should explain it. If you don't have a manual, as our caller apparently didn't, call the company, the internet service provider that gave you it and said, "Hey, I want to turn on WPA2 encryption. Walk me through it." If you've got that turned on and you use a good password, important, you're locked down. It means all the traffic that's floating through the air from your wireless router is encrypted. And that without the password, nobody can use your router. If that doesn't fix the intruder alert, then I don't know what's going on. There might be a larger security issue. MAC address filtering does not do anything, and I'll tell you why. In order for Wi-Fi to work, every single packet that floats through the air has to have, has attached to it the MAC address of the user. And it is trivial to spoof a MAC address. So all MAC address filtering does is bother people, basically, by forcing them to give you their MAC address before they can use the router. If I want to use a Wi-Fi system and the only protection it's got is MAC address filtering, I'll just spoof a working MAC address, one of the approved MAC addresses, and I'm in. And not only that, not only am I in, but I'm going to knock off the guy who's legitimately on. On the other hand, if you use WPA2, you're set. You're good. You're golden. You're MAC. You don't have to do anything else. It's all you need. So no need for belt and suspenders in this case. And I think that's probably what's going on with this intruder alert. Zach in Annandale, Kansas. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Zach.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm calling to ask about. Well, first, I'm 15 and I've loved your show.
Thank you. Since you were knee high to a grasshopper.
Yeah. Since I was a little sprig of Tennessee. Yeah. And I was calling to ask you about my flash drive. So
okay.
I use it most of the time. I just got it not that long ago. It's the Patriot 3.0 flash drive. I like it a lot.
Good.
But the thing is, when I was getting on the computer, my internet would stop working. So, I couldn't connect to the internet at all.
Wait a minute. You connect the flash drive and your internet would stop working?
Yeah, exactly. So I would plug it into the only one port, the USB 3.0 port, and it would stop the internet from working. And, I would do a continuous ping from command prompt, and it would ping, it would be fine. And then it would stop working right when I plug it in, and every request would time out. So I don't know why it's doing that. I Googled it. No one's ever had that problem, apparently.
Well, first thing I'd really want to make sure is that you don't have some sort of auto-run software on that USB key. You know, the one way to infect – this is, by the way, how we – and I say we loosely either the NSA or the Israeli spies infected those Iranian nuclear power plants. Remember, there was a virus that attacked the centrifuges at the power plants and forced them to overheat and break. It was done with a virus. And the way they got the virus in was USB keys in auto-run. Now, is that Patriot USB key, it's not one of those auto-run USB keys, I hope.
Mm-mm. Well, I'm thinking, the only thing I could think of, that was the only thing, I hadn't tried it yet, but I did to name the flash drive and to let it have its own personal icon. I did make an autorun.info file, and that's probably what was doing it. But I wouldn't think that that would do it like that, because it would work in all the ports except for one. So I was thinking maybe that was the only thing I could think of that might hurt it, or that might be causing it.
Well, the auto run would have to be some bad guy running something. I mean, running changing the icon isn't going to do anything.
Yeah. But that's the only auto run file I have on there. I've checked it. I've scanned it and stuff, and so I don't know.
I don't know. Why would all I can? I mean, then there could be a hardware issue. So, for instance, the power draw on the USB 3 might be just enough to cause your Ethernet connection to stop working. I mean, are you Wi-Fi?
Yeah, most of the time. It's Wi-Fi from a laptop. That's one that's having the problem.
And if you use a USB 2 port, this doesn't happen.
Well, the thing, even weirder, the USB 2 ports work fine, and there's one other USB 3 port that also works fine in the back. It's just harder to get to.
I don't know. That's a very strange... You're right. That's a very strange thing.
Could it be the driver for just that port might be messed up?
Yeah, it could be the driver. Could be hardware. It just seems very odd that using the USB port would make your internet break. I can't think. A couple of thoughts, and these are just random thoughts, and I don't even know how you would test this. One is that it's drawing power, and can you use anything else on that USB 3 port, by the way?
I have not tried that. I could try that. I could try using a different thumb drive or something as well.
Yeah, I would try that. And so what that would tell you is do something that's not powered, first of all. Something that doesn't draw power from it. What that would tell you, say, if let's say there's a driver issue. So the USB 3 driver loads and it's crashing the network stack. Maybe that's it. Or maybe it's drawing power and you're just so close. Maybe your power supply is so close to the edge that even that little bit of voltage is enough to make it so that the Ethernet doesn't work. It's very odd. I've never heard of such a thing. You're right, Zach. Let's keep looking. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. So, John, you're thinking of Flame, which did use Windows Update. Yeah, I saw that catch. The one that did the centrifuges was by USB key. You think I'm being punked, Mark? I don't think so. I think he was legit. I didn't ask if it was a Mac or a PC. Yeah, Stuxnet. That's the one. Stuxnet was spread by USB key. Flame is a whole different thing, and Flame is a older but more recently discovered and very intriguing virus that uses a lot of techniques. No, he sounded sincere. It does sound like a motherboard problem, right? Oh, yes, I should. Thank you. I should. You are so good. You are so good. Let me remind everybody that there's a new gadget around the corner. There always is, isn't there? You ready for the 2013 round? You ready to get rid of the 2012 stuff? Gazelle, my friend. Gazelle.com. They call it recycling the easy way. Because you know what? There is somebody who wants that gadget. So you go to Gazelle, and you take that old iPhone. Let's say maybe you have an iPhone 4S. And you said, I want that iPhone 5. Let's see what the iPhone 4S, in great condition, $225. There you go. Now you've got the down payment for an iPhone 5. They also will buy back your BlackBerry rims, your HTC, your LG, your Motorola, your Nokia phone. Maybe you bought that Lumia 920. Actually, you got here's a good example. You want a 920. You got a 900. Good condition, no water damage. How much is that? $66. Now, here's the deal. You get all these gadgets, the old iPods, the old iPads, the old phones. the Apple TVs, the Apple monitors, the MacBooks. You get a quote. This quote's good for 30 days, by the way. So you don't have to send it to them right away. But once you've got that list of things, they'll send you a box, prepaid mailer. And you pile that stuff in the box. Then they send you cash, or if you're in a hurry, you can get a PayPal credit right away. You could even get, and I like this, the Amazon gift card, which is going to give you 5% extra. What a great way to get cash for your new gadget. Gazelle.com. Recycle the easy way with Gazelle. We thank them for their support of our Tech Guy podcast. Chris Marquardt. I see him in the background. Let me get
Hello there.
Hey, Chris, let me get your email.
This will be the last one for another 2 weeks.
I know
I'll
you're
be back
going
on the
away. I know, but I'm glad we got you today.
To beautiful Japan. I just had the wildest Autobahn drive today through minus 3 Celsius, freezing temperature, pouring rain.
And you still were going 200 kilometers an hour. I know you Germans. You crazy Germans.
I'm not that crazy. No,
There's no speed limit, right?
In most, well, I'd say like in 50 to 70% of the Autobahn, there is no speed limit. And then, but then there's always some jerk in front of you, you know?
Is it 2 lanes in the most cases, or is it 4 lane? What is it?
Two lanes each direction, at least.
At least, yeah. But that was one of the things I noticed in France is that when I've driven in Europe, that often there's 2 lanes, and you're just never supposed to be in that left lane unless you're passing.
Well, yeah, that's actually kind of illegal to be left if you're not passing, and sometimes it's enforced and sometimes it isn't. And then there's
it was enforced by the
slow
guy
in
who
front.
came up on my butt and flashed his lights. That's
You cannot pass on the right. That's illegal.
All right, here we go. Leo Laporte. I am the tech guy. Chris Marquardt. He's the photo guy, and he joins us every week to talk about digital photography. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Leo. How's it going?
It's going very well. I understand you're going to Japan next week.
Yes, I will hold a workshop in Japan together with my friend Martin Bailey. We're going to go to the snow monkeys, and we'll go up north to Hokkaido, the northern.
Oh, the snow monkeys! They get in the hot tub and they bathe.
Yeah, they get in the hot tub because it's so cold there, and then we go to an even colder area where we're gonna photograph some whooper swans and some eagles and lots of really cool wildlife. Cool in the sense of the word, because it's gonna be really, really cold there.
Wow!
But
this is the first time you've done a workshop in Japan?
That's my first time into Japan at all, so I'm
exciting.
totally excited about this.
Yeah, my friend Alex Lindsay, you know Alex. Is a photographer. He's been up to see the snow monkeys and got some amazing pictures. I mean, they just lounge. It's freezing cold, and these are big apes. They're not. I don't know what kind of monkeys or apes they are, but they're big, and they're just lounging like in a hot tub.
Well, the alternative is to freeze to death, I guess.
It's a great adaptation, and I wish I could get that life. So meanwhile, back at the ranch, we are doing our holidays photo assignment, right?
Exactly. We had an assignment going with the word holiday, and I'm blown away by the pictures that came in. Really cool stuff.
A ton of great shots from all of our.
Yes, 76 people participated. The group is huge. It's really popular. So I've made a choice. It was really hard to choose this time, and I made a choice of 3 different pictures that we want to briefly look at and see. And the first one is by PB Leah. And the title is, my pet peeve, IMG_2871.
So Chris, now the way we do this, we post them to Flickr and we share them with our group, the Tech Guy group. And Chris does not like it when people don't name their images.
Come on, that's not a title.
That's the cameras gave it that title.
Yeah, I'd rather have something like, well, I don't even know, but let's make that a caption contest.
You could say champagne and beer, and that'd be enough. So what we see is a couple. And they just seem to like each other quite a bit. They're standing at a fire pit, and it's obviously cold because they've got snowsuits on, and they're out in the desert, it looks like. And then in the foreground is a bottle of champagne and a bottle of Newcastle Brown Ale.
Yes. Now, I did not choose this for the alcoholic content, but for the from a technique point of view, I think it's really well done. What you see here is those two bottles in the front are way larger than those two persons in the background.
But they kind of mirror the two people, don't they?
That's what they do, and it's all in focus, which is not that easy to achieve if you have something that close to the camera and that far. So I looked at the data of the image, and it's been shot with an 11mm lens, which means a very wide-angle lens. And these wide-angle lenses have, in addition to giving you a wide field of view, they will also increase the depth of field, so you can go close to something and still have the things in the background in focus. So this is how that was done.
I love the composition.
A good example.
Yeah, and this is a very nice the Canon EOS Rebel T2i, which is one of the cameras I recommend for people who want to get serious but not at a huge price. It's under $1,000 bucks. Very nice Canon.
It's a really good camera to get started with DSLRs.
Next picture comes to us from Miss J Gal.
Yeah, that is much clearer along the lines of the holiday assignment.
It's a Christmas tree.
It's a Christmas tree, right? With lots of little lights and.
But I can tell you, I've tried to shoot Christmas trees. This is actually hard to do.
Well, on the one hand, I think, and by the way, this has a proper title, Christmas 2012. Thank you for that. And it's a bit of an HDR thing, I guess, or not sure. The Missy gal managed to coax some of the detail out of the shadows, which looks really nice. The thing that I like about this is the little light sources, the little points of light are all little stars, and. You know, you don't need a special filter. Everyone who has a camera can actually do that. Make little point light sources into little stars. And what you do is you just close the aperture. You make the number of the aperture very high, like f22 or something. And that will then reflect in these kind of star-shaped little light sources.
You actually learn something about your camera when you do this, too, because the shape of the star is determined by the camera, right?
It's determined by the amount of aperture blades, by the number of aperture blades you have. Like this one has an even number, 6 aperture blades, but there are the ones that are 5 aperture blades, and if it's an odd number, you'll actually have double the star spikes. So that a 5 blade would make 10 spikes.
Isn't that funny? You never know what you're going to tell people by your pictures. Very nice. Thank you, Miss J Gal. Finally, USMC 1972, and this is just it's a picture of a girl at Christmas. Yes. But he's done something interesting. She's got rays of light from the Christmas tree shooting out from
I was wondering how that was done. And I looked at it and then finally dawned on me. Yep, that's actually 2 pictures shot as one. It's not it's not a combined picture, but what he or she did is you set here's the thing. You set the flash. It uses the flash and a long exposure. So you set the flash, and it works best with the DSLR. You set the flash to what's called second curtain.
Yeah.
And then you use a long shutter speed, and let's say like half a second, and then you zoom while you expose that picture, and at the end it'll fire the flash. So the zoom gives you these light streaks, and then the flash freezes the foreground, which is the girl in this case.
Oh, so it is a single picture. But it's
a
just,
single picture.
It's done in a very clever technique.
Pros call that dragging the shutter. So if you want to look that up on Google, look up dragging the shutter, and you'll find lots of information about that.
Gail, thank you. That's a great one.
It's a very tricky technique to do.
3 fun pictures. The way we got them is just anybody who listens can do this. It's not a competition. There's no prize. It's just an assignment to give you a chance to take more pictures. But you take the picture. You upload it to our Flickr group. That's free. The group is called The Tech Guy. And then we pick 3 pictures once a month and review them. Now, have you come up with an assignment for next time?
Oh, absolutely. What happens? What comes after the holidays when you're full and bloated and had all the Christmas dinners and stuff?
Nap time.
Resolutions.
Okay, resolutions. Now we're going to let you interpret that any way you want.
Exactly. Lots of meanings to that, but resolution. Let's call it resolution. That's the assignment.
I like it. Flickr.com/groups/tech guy. You've got to have a Flickr account. If you have a Yahoo account, you already have one. They're free. Flickr's just a wonderful photo sharing site. It's a great discovery if you've not found it before. You don't have to have a fancy camera. You could do it with a camera phone, whatever. We're looking at ingeniousness, cleverness, composition, all that stuff. And Chris will pick another one. Have a great time in Hokkaido.
Thank you, and I'll be back on the 10th.
Have fun with the snow monkeys. And we'll see you back here on the 10th. Our new assignment is resolution. And I think that our friend Trey Ratcliffe had some pictures of snow monkeys. I'm just looking for them. Because he's at stuckincustoms.com. He does some great ones. In the sleeping snow monkeys. Here they are. They're in the hot tub. They're in the hot tub.
And they don't mind. They don't mind their picture taken.
They look like baboons. I don't know what they are. Are you going to stay? Are you going to stay at a ryokan, a traditional Japanese hotel?
I sure hope so. Where there's still a lot of. That's my first time, so pretty much everything has been arranged at this point, and I'm just jumping in, and then we'll find out what's.
If you want to know more about Chris's workshops, he does them all year round. It's at discoverthetopfloor.com. Chris, have a great trip. We'll talk to you in 3 weeks.
Thank you. Talk to you.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. They're macaques. That's what they are.
Oh,
macaques. Aren't they pretty? See, I get intimidated because when I was in Paris, I didn't even bring my camera because everybody, like Trey and everybody, take a good view, have taken these great pictures, and I know I don't have a chance. I don't have a chance in a.
You do. You do. Come on.
Yeah.
You need the right people around you. You need to be on a good
I should
workshop.
go on a workshop is what I should do. These snow monkeys.
I guess if you only knew someone who did workshops. You know?
Here's another one. Here's some baby snow monkeys.
You can come to Iceland in 2014.
I would. Are you doing Iceland?
Yes, I will. I'll do one in March 2014.
I would like to do Iceland.
Go and discover the top floor. It's there.
Okay. 2014. I could probably do that.
And it's a short one. It's 6 days. So you
See,
can
I can't take
do that.
time off because the whole thing, the cost of me taking 6 days off is a lot more than the workshop.
But the stuff you could learn.
I know. I'm going to wait till I'm old. I'm retired. All right, Chris, thank you.
All right, talk
Take
to you in
care.
a few weeks.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
See you. Have a great trip. You're going to have fun.
Thank you.
I'm going to go in the bathroom and cry now.
One thing I've learned as I've aged to do what I like to do.
It's hard to do a show while we're losing.
It's really the secret.
Who? Yeah, it was too expensive. It was a lot of shows we can't get sponsors. Yeah, Veronica was expensive. The way we were doing the show was expensive. We were doing it. It was an experiment to do a show that was more like a traditional TV show with producers, writer. We had a writer, JRY was writing, and we had teleprompters. It was more like a traditional TV show. And the cost, it wasn't huge, but it was like $7,000 or $8,000 a show. And after 13 shows, we had a decent audience. We had 27,000. Yeah, and I thought it was I was very proud of it. Yeah, I was very proud of it. I thought it was a good show, but it was not. We needed a larger audience to even have a hope, frankly, of making it work. So, unfortunately. All right, let's come back now. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh God! Yeah. Oh God! Oh God! Lisa's not gonna be in a good mood. 17-0 for the Bites. Look at that. 1, 2. They're good. That was a beautiful pass. And we had good coverage. It was just nothing he could do. That guy's tall. They have great receivers, unfortunately. Atlanta has some great receivers. Look at that. Beautiful. Perfect pass. Oh, well. Oh, well. Yeah, we did. It's exciting. It's a great playoffs last year. Great games. That's all right. It's not over. It's until early.
Is it only the first quarter?
Yeah, well, we just started the second. Beginning of the second. Yeah, we're fine.
Christmas. Not 32 is your library.
Lisa always says, I don't want exciting. I want to crush them.
I used to know where the treetops.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. That's something you don't hear a lot of. Christmas music in January. Blame Kyle Benham, our musical director. He'll post his playlists and all the fun stuff he plays. for each and every break on our website, techguylabs.com, and on his own Google Plus account, Kyle, BenHam. Back to the phones. And it looks like, let's see who's been hanging on the longest. Ron in Ontario. You're next. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Ron.
Hi, Leo. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
You have a fantastic program. I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
Actually, I have two problems.
Okay.
One is my website. I have this serious flash that goes on constantly. And I have an excellent website with excellent content, and I'm told that it's just fantastic. With the exception of the flash. Can't get rid of the flash.
Yeah, get rid of Flash. No website should be using Flash in the year 2013. Do you mean Adobe Flash, or do you mean the site's flashing?
It's just flashing.
Oh. What? All right, tell me what the site is, Ron.
It's www.ghostterminators.com.
Ghostterminators.com. Are you a Ghostbuster?
No, actually, I'm a Catholic bishop.
You're an exorcist. Oh, we've talked before. I remember this. Yeah.
A couple of years ago. And then, of course, my second question was about Skype.
Well, wait a minute. The flash is not desired? Is this not what you want, this flashing lightning?
Not at all. And I've tried doing everything.
Oh, please. Ron. Come on, Ron. You're not telling me your site is possessed, is it? The flashing, by the way, is not like, if we're flashing, like sometimes you get a site where there's some bad CSS or whatever and the browser's kind of jiggling or whatever. But this is obvious that Ron's done this on purpose, and it was just a blatant attempt, because it's lightning, a blatant attempt to get a plug on the air. Nice, Ron. You did it. Kathy in San Fernando, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Leo. How are you?
I'm great. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I want to go out and purchase one of the new Galaxy Note 2s, and not only for my personal use, but also for business.
Good.
The question I have at this point is, one of the websites that we use a lot of time for my work, it has to be accessed through Internet Explorer 7 or better.
Why? I hate it when they do that.
That's the way they've set it up. And unfortunately, my entire company now uses this system on this website, and we are really locked to it, How can I get Internet Explorer if I use the Note 2? Or can
You can't.
That's what I was afraid
You have to use, there's no phone, even, maybe it would work, but I don't think it would work on a Windows phone even. You have to use a desktop computer.
Even the new Windows phone, because they said those carry Internet Explorer.
It's Internet Explorer, but I don't think it's the same Internet Explorer that I would try it. There's no guarantee it'll work.
Okay.
They're probably using some technology. I can't believe in this day and age. It happens a lot in businesses. It's an intranet, I take it, right? An internal network.
No, my company, we have a bunch of things that we use that is on our intranet.
Yeah.
But this particular web-based program, so to speak, that we're using is through the internet. And I don't have to...
Well, that's even worse, because then...
I know.
If it's to open to the public, that means anybody browsing with any mobile device is going to be out of luck.
Yes.
Okay, so there are ways you can do this. Maybe not the ideal, but you could, for instance, use our sponsor, Go to My PC. There are other companies, Log Me In, and others that allow you to, on your Galaxy Note, surf to your desktop computer, and from there, use your IE7 on your desktop to open it.
Oh, okay. So the Galaxy Note will surf back to my desktop?
You'd need to use remote access software, and your desktop would have to have the remote access software installed there.
Right, okay.
Go to My PC. I've done exactly this in order to access a site that uses Flash, Adobe Flash. I would go back to my desktop computer from the Galaxy Note, and the desktop computer supports it.
Okay.
Now, Internet Explorer is the name of the browser on the phone, but whether that is the same as the Internet Explorer that you need, it's Internet Explorer Mobile.
Right, exactly.
I don't know if mobile is the same as IE7 desktop.
Okay.
You could try it and see. Now, if it does work on your Windows phone, I would get a Windows phone. They're fantastic. The Lumia 920 is almost 5 inches. I think it is 5 inches. Is not quite as big as the Note 2, but it's big.
Okay, so I had one guy on the phone that was telling me the Nokia 822 was actually really good.
Yeah, I prefer the newer 920.
The 920, okay.
Yeah. Excellent phone. The HTC 8X is my top choice for Windows phone.
I was going to ask you about that because it showed up really high. The only thing I didn't like about it is that it did not have removable memory.
Yeah, or a removable battery, which to me is well, that's how you get this beautiful design. The Lumia is the same, by the way. You get this beautiful case, and it's kind of uniform, and there's no cracks in the back where you would put stuff in. But I wouldn't worry so much about memory. Especially because I don't know if Windows Phone 8 is better, but the previous Windows Phone 7 didn't handle SD cards at all.
Right.
So my suspicion is that might not matter. I think a removable battery, however, is something significant. But these get decent battery life. The real thing, though, you've got to try is is the mobile Internet Explorer good enough to run my company's intranet software or their that special stuff they're doing?
Well, now, see, and the other problem I have is when I switched back over to the idea of either using the Nokia or the HTC, I need to know if they will support the Good Messaging Enterprise application because that's what we have to use for the secure emails.
Ah, that's a good question. Boy, your company's really got it locked down, don't they?
Yeah.
What do you work for, the NSA, the CIA?
Pretty close.
Is it a government agency?
Yes. Well, some of our stuff we do is government, not all of it.
Right. Yeah. So, but there's in that case, there's reasons for all of this. That it's sometimes your convenience is less important than security and stuff like that. And one of the reasons people use Good is it is secure.
We have to have that, else I won't be able to get my messages.
Right.
And without that. Because, see, what they're trying to do is they're trying to have all of us go to using the BlackBerry.
Right. That's what government's like.
Yes, well.
So Good for Enterprise is available on Windows Phone.
It is. Oh, yeah. Wonderful. Okay.
So that's good news. And by the way, I think you're going to like, even if, I love the Galaxy Note 2. It's what I use. There's no screen bigger. It's just fantastic.
All the extra stuff you could do with
I love Android. However, I should say that Windows Phone 8 is fantastic. There are fewer apps, so you do have to ask questions like, well, can I get Good on it? But you can.
Okay.
And it will look great. It will be you will be in love with how nicely done it is.
Okay.
It's really the biggest lack now on Windows Phone 8 is a software, is apps.
Well, and I'm not a big app person. I mean, up until now, basically all I've ever used my cell phone for is a cell phone.
Right. So often I tell people who are new to smartphones that a Windows phone is actually a very good choice. It's very clean and easy to use and gorgeous.
So you prefer the HTC?
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
And which model?
8X.
The 8X?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the nicest one out there. That's a beautiful phone. Gorgeous phone.
I have Verizon as a provider, and it's one of the ones with a very good price on it right now.
Go for it.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate the call. I'm sorry you work for a government agency. But they're really, it's they all still use BlackBerries. And there's a reason for security. Sometimes you just have to do that. And, that trumps, convenience or fun or the happiness of the employees. We're in a world of what they call is BYOD, the bring your own device world, where businesses have to deal with employees that bring iPhones and other phones into the enterprise, and they've got to figure out a way to incorporate them. But if you work at a government agency, a three-letter agency, or if you work somewhere that contracts with three-letter agencies, you have to answer to a higher authority. Anna in Southern California, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Anna.
Hi, Leo. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm wanting to make a copy of a trust.
Okay.
And it's got, several pages. I have a copier at home, but it's slow, so I'm thinking I want to take it to FedEx or Office Depot or one of those.
Okay, hang on just a second, because I do have to take a break, but we'll get to that in a moment. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I'm just going to watch the football game and cry for the next 7 minutes. I hope you don't mind.
Actually, I'm going to talk about ShareFile is what I'm going to do.
I'd love to tell you about Perfection photo scanners from Epson, a brand you know.
Okay, go ahead, Leo. You do that while I talk about ShareFile. You know, I do this a lot in my business. I bet you do in your business. Share large files from point A to point B. In my case, it's the radio stations. I record audio tracks for them, commercials, a lot of stuff. And we used to use a program which shall remain nameless that you probably have heard of to share files, and it didn't work. It was a consumer grade program, and I really need a better way. Every once in a while, I send it as an email attachment. That always bombs because they're big files. They're 30 or 40 megabytes, and half the time it bounces. There's also an issue if you're in an industry like, let's say, medicine, where you have government regulations for that required privacy. When I found ShareFile, my life changed. I love ShareFile. I want you to give a look. If you're in business, you share files, and I think most businesses do nowadays. I want you to give a look at ShareFile, secure file transfer, built for business. It's from Citrix, so you know it. You know they know this stuff. And I'll give you a couple of things I like about Share. First of all, they do have an Outlook plugin, so if you use Outlook, it looks just like email. But the size, I can't remember the biggest file, but it's massive. You know, basically files of almost any size. Delivered instantly. You can get notifications when the file is received. You can limit who can see it. You could password protect it. You can make sure none of these files will ever be seen by anybody but the intended recipient. You can post project-related files to a shared collaboration space. And you, as a ShareFile user, see, I have 2 ShareFile folders for the radio show. These are shared automatically when I record an ad or record a voice track. ShareFile we have the desktop sync. It automatically syncs it up. Let me show you my ShareFile space. It's so cool. So I'll go to leolaporte.sharefile. If I spell my name right, it'll work better. .sharefile.com. Log in. Now this is beautiful. First of all, you get your logo. It's branded to your business. They customize it to different businesses. Let's just pick I don't know. I have an address book of what kinds of permissions, so it makes it very easy to send stuff out. Let's say I want to send this folder, recordings. Now, I can send it as an email, as I said, with the Outlook plugin, or even make an email this way. But I also like the link, and I'm going to show you a link because I could show you the options a little more clearly. So here's a checkbox. Email me when the item's been downloaded. Require recipient to enter name and email before downloading so I can track them. You can say how long they can access it. I generally say it never expires, but let's say you were sending something out that you really didn't want to be public for more than a week. You can do that, or a day, or a year, or a month. Downloads per user. How many times they can download it? Look, you can download it once for 1 day. You can set it that way. Let's do that. Now I'm going to send this file out. Now what it does is it generates a unique link for me, and by the way, these are not guessable links. You could see. I'm going to copy it to the clipboard and show you what my recipient, whoops, let's not show the certificate, show you what my recipient's going to see when he or she gets that email and clicks the link. This is cool. She gets a branded page. She doesn't have to sign up for anything. Now, because I required email and so forth, she has to put that in. That's for the tracking. That's good. Leo Laporte at Twit received this. Then I'm going to store it and continue to download page. Now, this is what she's going to get. See, she sees the folder, and there's a simple download button. And there you go. Couldn't be easier with my branding and everything. Even dummies can do this. Just between us, do you ever share files with people who, like, a little clueless? There's no way they can screw this up. An attachment never works. This, they can't screw up. It is just fantastic. I want you to try it free for 30 days. ShareFile.com. Sign in with my special offer. You get a 30-day free trial. ShareFile.com. Click the microphone. Use the promo code TechGuy. You're going to love it. All right. You know who I'm talking about. Every once in a while. Do we score? I love you, man. I love you, man. I love you, man. You're beautiful. I'm going to cry. Oh, God. Your son is going, this is really bad. Oh, handoff. Look at that. That's a nice run. That's nice. 25-yard run. Very nice. Was there a good pass? There was a good pass. I'm recording the whole game. I'll watch it tonight. Oh, he caught it out of bounds? Oh. Okay, 10-point game. We're not even at the half. I can live with that. We can live with that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to distract you. But this is how... No. This is very important. This is not, you know...
If I was home, I'd be screaming. So. Yeah, this is good now. We're coming back.
you know...
They said it's going to be a 4-point game.
Did they?
Yeah, it's a 4-point game.
Yeah, but the spread was 4 points in our favor. 4.5 points in our favor.
So, I mean, we're getting closer to 4 points.
It's a nice way to look at it. That's a good way to look at it.
Oh, you're on a break.
Garrison Hurst. Remember him? Well, I won't be surprised. Let's put it this way. I won't be surprised. But let me show you what my iPad is. It wouldn't be, you know. I know exactly what's happening.
You have your video on your... Oh.
No, I have notifications.
Oh, your notifications.
Yeah, whenever there's anything happens, they tell us. They tell me. What is that, ESPN? No, that's NFL.
Oh, okay.
So I have the NFL app. Will tell you. Yeah, isn't that cool? That works, but this is nice because it's a stand and it's magnetic, so it's it holds it pretty firmly.
Is that the Logitech one?
It is.
Okay, that's the $100.
$100, yeah. You can get it on Amazon for $79. I think they have. It's also available on the big box stores.
So they're like
yeah, so it becomes a.
It becomes a
cover. It's not a super. Secure or robust cover. Yeah, you're better that way.
I mean, this looks brand new.
Yeah, it keeps it better. This, but I like the stand.
Yeah, it's good.
In fact, I'm not even using the keyboard. I'm just using it as a stand right now. Well, Bramster, you may say that, but I think Moore's Law, in fact, has been right on for more than 25 years, 30 years. So maybe it did have a predictive capability. If it wasn't intended to predict, it certainly worked. In just a few hours, Justin Bieber will surpass Lady Gaga in number of Twitter followers. This just in. I don't think it doesn't look good. I think they're going to get... Oh, no. Did they just score again? Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy, hour number 3 of the Tech Guy program. 8888 Ask Leo. That's my number if you want to call with a question, a comment, a suggestion. We cover the big tech stories. You listen to this show, you're going to be up to date on everything that's happening in the tech world. Get your questions answered. Breaking news. In just a few hours, it looks like Justin Bieber will surpass Lady Gaga for number of Twitter followers. Just around the corner. Any minute now. Big story. Let's see. Justin has 33,255,128 followers. Lady Gaga, 33,269,760 followers. She's 11,000 ahead. Could it happen any moment now? Yes, it could. I remember, this is how old I am, when I had the most followers on Twitter. Me, yeah, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. You know how many followers I had? 5,000. The year was 2007. Twitter was less than a year old. 5,000. And I remember the race between me and a guy named Kevin Rose, and he finally beat me. That's how old I am. 33 million. Twitter has really taken off. That's pretty amazing. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number. We can talk about the big news story of the day or anything else on your mind. 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. Outside the U.S., of course, you can call Skype out and make that call free. We also have a great website, techguylabs.com, where all the goodies reside, including links to everything I mentioned. So if you're listening and you say, what was it? What was that? You mentioned that. What was that? You don't have to worry. Don't write it down. Don't drive off the road trying to make a note of what we're talking about. It's all on the website. It'll be there when you get there. techguylabs.com. You'll also find a link at techguylabs.com to our chat room, which is a lot of fun. I consider them my brains, my externalized brains. In fact, that's how I found out about the Lady Gaga Justin Bieber race to the finish. The Brain Trust has been following this closely. All right, we're going to get back to the phones here. We were talking to Anna in Southern California before I had to rudely interrupt. I apologize, Anna.
Oh, that's no problem whatsoever. Thank you. Okay, I'll go back over it real quick. I want to make a copy of a trust.
Yep.
I have a printer at home, but, it's slow, so I want to go outside and do it at one of the copy centers. I'm concerned about security because sometime back, several years, I remember reading that copies can be something in the machine.
There was a notorious flaw in a well-known copier. I forgot the brand, and I don't want to libel anybody, but one of the big brands that it was storing. Now this was a fax copier, so it was storing the documents as was built, because there was memory built in so that they could be faxed out.
Does it matter if they're inkjet or laser, or do they not do that at all anymore?
Well, I think they probably don't. But it's reasonable to be a little concerned after that story. That was a flaw that was discovered and, of course, quickly fixed. And I think that that's the key. Is it was saving documents because it was a fax machine as well as a copier. So if it's not a fax machine, which it won't be at FedEx Kinko's, it'll just be a copier.
Okay. Should I ask them too also?
Yeah.
Inquire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So as long as it's a straight up machine without all the anything other capabilities, it should be fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that the reason it was such a big deal when we discovered this is because it was an unexpected side effect. It's not supposed to do that. Mm-hmm. Let me see if I can find the original story.
Because Leo, when you had an inkjet, there'd be a long old tape to it. A big old roll of copy material of some sort.
Not anymore. You're thinking the mimeograph machines. Yeah, not anymore. You don't have to worry about that. Now, I'm reading here in this story, it does say laser copiers often do store documents because what they do is they get, if it's a printer, in other words, what the way a printer works is you send the document to the printer, which stores it and then prints it. And so that might be another case where a copier might have a hard drive or memory for spooling. But again, Kinko's, it's not going to have that.
All right. Very good. That's what I needed.
I think you're all right. Yeah, but I'm glad you asked, though, Anna. I wish I could find the... it really goes to these multifunction printers where they're used as copiers, but they're also used as other stuff. Those are the ones that have memory. If it's just a Xerox machine, doesn't have memory, doesn't need memory. Let's move on to the next call. Rick in Gorilla Suit. What? In a Gorilla Suit? Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Rick.
Oh, hi, Leo. How you doing?
You're the guy who stands on street corners getting people to go to the carpet store.
Hello, Leo.
You still doing that, Rick?
Yes, sir. I sure am. How you doing?
Are you in the Gorilla Suit right now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I sure am. Yeah.
Can they tell that you're talking on the phone, or you're still dancing around like a crazy monkey?
Right now, I'm due to some trying to get you and make sure that the traffic don't so I can hear you. I'm over by my car right now.
Have you taken your head off?
Yes, it's off right now.
So there's a guy in a parking lot somewhere in Southern California.
It's orange. 606 West Catella in orange.
with his head off. He's in a gorilla suit, but you can see a human head, and he's on the phone.
And I got an angel's cap on it.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, I got a. I know we could talk about it. My Evos. Sprint did wonderful on me, but the thing I called about is I'd like to get YouTube on my Roku.
YouTube on your doesn't it? Doesn't no? Oh boy, you'd think they would have a YouTube channel.
I don't know which one they're using, but I want the YouTube one. I don't want what they give me. I want to get what I can get.
Yeah, there's a website that I've used before that shows all the channels on a Roku.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It shows the YouTube, but it doesn't give the code.
Ah,
and it's not there.
Ah, so in the channel store, you don't see a YouTube channel, huh?
It's like a MetaTube.
MetaTube, yeah. Well, YouTube. Remember, YouTube is a Flash site. Now, the funny thing is, I have YouTube on my Apple TV, so I know there's some way to do it. Let me look at the chat room and see.
I'd like to say to you, broadcasters out there, Channel 7 and all you guys, stream your stuff on a Roku.
I agree. I agree.
With commercials and all. Stream it.
Let us disconnect, cut the cord, and use the Roku, which I love. Roku is a box that you attach to your TV, has an HDMI port, and then it basically puts your TV on the internet. And there are literally, if you go to Roku, I think it's RokuChannels.com. I'll have to find it. There are literally 2,000 channels. YouTube's not one of them. You know why? Google. Used to be on it. But Google decided not to. I don't know why. Doesn't seem nice. Doesn't seem right. Maybe because they make a Google TV, which does get YouTube. Maybe that has something to do with it. Gosh, I hate competition, huh? How do you see the Roku through the holes in your mask? That's what Jeroko in our chat room wants to know. Let me see if I could find that. It was a really nice little page. It was not made by Roku. That was a directory of all the channels that you could find on Roku, but not necessarily, kind of publicized, because of course Roku has a channel store. But this is it's Roku-channels.com, the Roku channel database. Now wait a minute, what's gone on here? It looks like it's blank all of a sudden. Maybe the database got wiped. That would be sad. Huh. Used to have thousands of them. Maybe Roku complained. Oh, well. What a world, huh? Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Streamfree.tv. Yeah, but there's hidden channels. That's the ones you want. Now I got to watch. I'm sorry. This is more important. Oh, they're fighting. Oh, they're fighting. I made a resolution. They're mad. Yeah. No, they're mad now. Hey, John, can you put in Channel 7 the other? I got to download. Oh, there it is. It just took a while to fill. Here's the Roku channels. So they have 1,568 channels in here. And they're just bizarre, some of them. But sometimes you need a channel code. Well, this has them all. This is a Roku-channels.com. This is such a useful thing. Oh my goodness.
I gave my husband a Roku box last year.
It's a great thing.
And that's all he watches.
Airshow Voice, they used to give you a bigger scale. I think it was a 25-pound scale. This one's capacity is 5. But if you go into the stamps.com store, they have a larger USB scale. But the free scale is capacity is 5 pounds. It's not for big packages. Oh, yes! Oh! Kaepernick to Davis. Kaepernick to Davis. Oh! Yeah, he got mad. Didn't want to lose. Nice pass. I don't know what you're mad at. He completely juked him. There was no defender. Awesome. He's mad because he wasn't defended. Or no, he's yelling at the ref. Can you make the switch of 7 to be the Twilight set? Do we have the game in this? Oh, but then the game, we'd see the game, wouldn't we? No, we wouldn't. Nah, just leave it. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Chad will know. Dwight Silverman, a guy who's been covering the mega story. Andy Anako? Awesome. I guess Chad was desperate. I always said, if you ever get desperate, call Andy. Oh, I know why there's desperation. Everybody's watching the football game. Nobody wants to be on the show. They're all figure we'll be watching the game.
Yeah, my mom usually volunteers, and she's not going to go today because no one's going to be there. She volunteers at an animal shelter.
It's going to be very quiet.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're getting another touchdown here.
I think it's close.
Then it's 17-14.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be 52-17. And it'll be over. She's kind of a football fan. Oh, did she tweet something? Facebook something? Oh, let me look. I haven't texted her because I know she's kind of consumed.
She scared the dog and her son.
Oh yes, Ozzy's there.
Yeah.
She was screaming. Oh, that's so cute. And we finally score. Go Niners. I will only cheer for you, and I am freaking out my son and dog Ozzy by screaming like a maniac. This is what I have to put up with, ladies and gentlemen. That and her profile photo is the most horrible profile photo. I'll tell you how you remember Andy Anako's name spelling. Andy told me this once. The woman said, I have no idea how to spell your name, and that's how I remember it. I-H-N. I have no idea. It doesn't work. But Ako.
All right, Leo, nod 32 still.
What is going on between Nicki Minaj and Mariah Carey? That's what I want to know. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888 Ask Leo's the number. We were talking to Rick in a gorilla suit. I did get the Roku channels. It was just slow to come up because it's such a big database. 1,500 Roku pages. Let me just do a quick search for YouTube and see if there is it's not no YouTube. No YouTube on Roku. That's mad. This is the problem with these little boxes, and there's a lot of them. Western Digital, WDTV, Boxy Box, Apple TV. There's a bunch of Google TVs. Logitech makes one. Sony makes one. I just reviewed the new Vizio Co-Star. Pretty nice, $99. And they're great because they take any TV and they make them, internet connected. So you can watch all these internet channels. But none of them gets everything. Apple TV is the only one that gets iTunes. I watch Amazon a lot. The number of them get Amazon. Almost everybody gets Netflix. YouTube? Apple has YouTube. Apparently not Roku. However, and this is a good tip. Thank you, Grifter188. You can put Plex on your Roku. And then you can get to YouTube via Plex. So that's actually a great idea. Plex is a port of the Xbox Media Center software that's quite well supported now. There's a lot of people writing Plex plugins. It's good. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number. Thank you, Rick. Good luck in the gorilla suit. Chris in Newport Beach, California. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Chris.
Oh, hi, Leo. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for calling.
I have an external 4-disc drive holder, Sans Digital, and got some big drives on there. We've got 1.75 terabytes of information that I'm trying to transfer over to another drive, and every time I drag a file of any significant size, 4, 6, 8 gigs or larger, just shuts down. And
it won't take anything bigger than 2 gigs, probably.
Sometimes it does. It'll usually go up to 4 or 6 or 8 before it gets annoyed, and then it'll shut down the whole transfer.
What is you're transferring it to what kind of computer?
The first one is a 2 terabyte external hard drive, and the other is two 2-terabyte external hard drives, which are formatted together in a RAID 1 system.
Yeah, but what kind of computer? Is it Windows?
Oh, it's all Windows, yeah.
Yeah. So there are programs that, first of all, you got to make sure you're using NTFS on the Windows. Yeah. You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because FAT32 will limit you to 2 gigs, or 4, maybe it's 4 gigs, but it will limit you. Assuming that you're using NTFS, you can have larger files. Then you probably want to use one of the programs that does a better job of copying than the built-in Windows software.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, there's 2 good ones. There's Fast Copy.
Okay.
You can just Google Fast Copy. And I believe it's free. And it just does a better job. It's a little faster, but more importantly, a little more reliable. The other one is Tera Copy, T-E-R-A Copy. And so it's not unusual. These really large files are a challenge for Windows.
Yeah, but dragging 2 to 4 gigabytes at a time is...
Yeah, you don't want to do that either.
No.
So, and then...
it is a software problem, not a hardware problem?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
But even if it's a hardware problem, having software that's robust enough to recover from a failure and not give up and start over would be a plus.
Sure.
You know, in other words, it says, oh, wow, that last thing didn't work. But let's not start from the beginning, shall we?
Yeah.
Another good one, according to the chat room, is RoboCopy. RoboCopy. And that RoboCopy is actually a Microsoft command in I believe it's a command in Windows. So you do it from the command line.
Okay, I'll look into that.
So look for RoboCopy and then the third party Tera Copy and Fast Copy. One of those should do it for you.
Excellent. Thanks, Leo.
And somebody's pointing out in the chat room, and this probably is true, that you got to be careful with file corruption. So you probably want to do is make sure that you've got the right file before you go home. And you could do that with a variety of different tools that will do hashes and so forth. Somebody in the chat room says, PC Guy says, I've seen people saying Tera Copy corrupts files. I think anytime you're copying giant files like that, there's always that risk. There's always that risk. But you've got to be using NTFS or you won't be able to copy anything bigger than 4 gigs anyway. Here's another one. This is great. Thank you, Tinker Toy Tech. We're going to put a list together on the show notes. Good Sync. That sounds like a synchronization program. But maybe it'll also do the copying. Peter in Connecticut. Hello, Peter. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi, Leo. How are you doing
I'm
today?
well. How are you?
Not bad. Thank you for taking my call, and thank you for making like 90% of the content that I entertain myself with.
Good. I'm liking that. Thank you.
With your Twit network. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Hang on the line. I know you want to ask me about Google Hangouts, and I will. I have to take a break now, but I will come back, and you'll be first in the queue. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Our show today, our podcast today, brought to you by Lantronix. They make the Xprint server. Have you heard me talk about the Xprint server? This is a cool product. Really, really neat stuff. So here's the issue. A lot of you have USB printers. You can't print to them unless they're connected to a computer. Maybe you want to print from iOS, and unless you have a special, special iOS printing hardware, there's some very AirPrint compatible printers. That's a little challenging. This little box, this Xprint server, just makes it possible to print from any iPad, any iPhone, to any printer, even a USB printer. You just put it on the network. This will also discover all your network printers. Oh, it's empty. Somebody stole my Lantronix. Oh, it was right there, was it? Well, it's gone now. These things are very popular. Here's the deal. If you go to xprintserver.com/twit, you'll get free shipping on your order. Did it fall off over there? Thank you. Here, see a little box. So what you do with this, it's very simple. You connect your USB printer to that. You connect your network to this. This USB printer is now shared over the network automatically. There's no configuration or anything. It just works. And it will discover all the other network printers. You could daisy chain the USB printers or up to 8 printers if you want off of this one USB port. Pretty cool, isn't it? Now, this is the home edition. It supports 8 USB printers and 2 network printers. If you're in an office or a business, I talked to a school network administrator. She has literally dozens of network printers. She uses the Office edition for $199. That's 8 USB printers and unlimited network printers. Plus, you get network admin features like Active Directory support, which make it much easier to print. This is a really cool little box. Not for everybody, but you know who you are if you need it. This is the Xprint server for iPad and iPhone printing. Makes all of your printers network printers. It discovers all your printers. If you've got a USB printer and you don't want to go out and get a new printer, but you still want to print to it from the network, this is a great solution. xprintserver.com/twit. I have to say, we've used these in a lot of situations and very, very pleased with the results. Couldn't be easier. It's compatible with up to 4,000 top brand printers. Automatic setup. You just plug it in and print. You don't need to do any drivers, any updates. Now software to install, even on your iPad. xprintserver.com/twit. We thank them for their support of our Tech Guy podcast. This is good, this NFL app. It's a good way. If you can't follow it on TV, this NFL app is great. See exactly what's happening. Oh! He dropped it. No, he got it. Man, this is a tough game. 24-14. Yeah, I think I'm using GDOT today. Yeah, we are. How does it sound? Are you listening on the radio? Yeah, they're a little behind, right?
Come on, update.
Touchdown. I hate you. I hate you, NFL program. Oof, it was hard to see. It looked like he might have trapped it. No, he got it. He pulled it in. Yeah.
And the cheerleaders go wild. And he spikes it over the goalposts.
Yeah, he had control. It's clear in that angle. Oh, God. He got his neck broken, but... This is the NFL app.
An official NFL app.
Well, it's either that or The Simpsons tapped out. Which is worse? $24 or $25. I move fast. That 25 is the highest I think you can go right now. I haven't seen anybody go higher than 25.
See, here's my little school.
Uh-oh, the Reverend's finished walking the dog. I don't hear any sound. Oh, maybe it's... It does this every time to me, which really bugs me. The server, you have to reconnect. Soup of the day today is pea. Nice handoff. Yeah. Back. All right, so let's see here.
I'm finally a winner!
That's nice. That's nice.
Sayonara!
So I'm building the town hall right up here. That's there's Homer. He's being Mr. Plow, trying to melt snow with atomic radiation. It's not working. I wonder what Mr. Burns is up to. Here's the Duff factory. There's the power plant. The prison. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888 Ask Leo. We were talking with Peter before I had to rudely interrupt him. Hi, Peter.
Hi, Leo.
Sorry about that. So you wanted to know about Google Hangouts.
Yeah, Leo. I called you a while back, and it was because we were using Ustream, and inappropriate commercials were coming on. So I thought maybe we should use Google Hangouts on air and stream it through YouTube. And the problem I'm having is that when we broadcast the Hangout on air, it gives us a link to embed it on the website.
Right.
But it doesn't update. The next time we want to do the Hangout, we would have to put a new link and change the window size and etc.
Well, okay, so make sure, a couple of things that people do wrong with Hangouts on air. You got to make sure that after the Hangout is over, that you save it to YouTube.
Right. Yeah.
You're closing it out properly, right?
Right.
Now, that link will be always that show.
Right.
When you do a new show, you will get a new link.
Right.
Because what it's done is it's saved it on YouTube.
Right.
So it's a church, right?
Yeah.
So you can't have, like, on the front page of the website, today's sermon and the same link over and over again.
Right.
Unfortunately. And I take it that's what you want. Because what it will do is it will, preserve it so that somebody who wants to watch last week's sermon can just click that link and now go to last week's sermon.
Right.
You'd like a regular link to...
Yeah, like Ustream used to do. We would just post one...
Got it. So, like, this is your YouTube channel where the current sermon is always.
Correct. Yeah. Hello?
I'm thinking.
Computing.
Working. All right, I'm going to have to get somebody who's more of an expert on Google Hangouts than I am. I wonder if there is a way to have a permalink to the live page.
Right, because I know that, like, IP addresses, you could have like a static DNS or dynamic DNS, like refresh and update it.
The idea being that that it's always the same link, so that if you go to the front page of the church, if it's not live, I don't know what you get. You just get we'll be live someday. But if it is, live, it starts streaming immediately.
Correct.
Well, you could certainly put, your channel, YouTube.com/your channel name.
Right. Yeah. It's just for the live stream that we're having the problems. We use Squarespace on your recommendation. Thank you very much for that.
Good. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I can't, so I understand what you want, which is, like Ustream, you could embed the video on your website, and when you're live, you'd see it live. You wouldn't have to click anything.
Right. And then when it wasn't live, it would just show a backlog or the last available episode. You could choose between it or whatever.
Yeah. I think you're going to have to do... Now, somebody sent me the link to Thomas Road Baptist Church and what they do, and I think they have the same problem, basically, which is they show individual links. They basically have a list of all the shows they've done.
Right.
I don't... and of course, Ustream could do it, but I understand you don't want to use Ustream because you don't want those ads to show up.
Right.
It seems like Google Hangouts is perfect. There's no ads or anything.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a way to do it. He wants it. So understand, the chat room seems a little confused. So I'm going to explain the issue again. Maybe they'll come up with an idea. He wants a permanent link that he could embed on his front page that will show the live video no matter what it is whenever it's live. And I don't know if you can do that. You can certainly link to your Google Plus profile. And if there's something live going on, it'll be there. But I understand you what you want is you want the video to be showing there.
Yeah, the Hangout.
I think the other thing you could do is contact Ustream and say, look, we're a church. What I want is a feed without any ads, and I'm sure that they would do that for you.
We have tried, and they have this generic forum, and they don't have a clue.
They don't have a clue. That's sad.
Yeah, I don't think they have a clue.
Yeah, I think you're stuck with just literally. It's not the worst thing in the world, but literally once you start that Hangout, editing your page.
Right.
It's not the end of the world. It's just one more step.
Right, I understand.
Yeah, I don't know of any way to make that one link always point to whatever's live, and that's just kind of because of the way Hangouts work. When you create a new Google Hangout, by the way, Hangouts are fantastic. People really should look into them. But when you could, for instance, a Bible study group, it'd be great. You can have up to 9 people in there, all talking together in a conference. It'd just be wonderful.
I was also wondering if there was a way to use it as a camera switcher. It would be great if you could use it as a camera switcher.
You can, absolutely. Yeah, that's so that you could have up to 9 cameras, each with their own Google Plus account in a single Hangout.
Oh, so different accounts. Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
I think, though, that there's no way to have a single URL, unchanging, fixed URL that always points to whatever Hangout is live. I think because essentially each Hangout is created anew. When you do it, it's like a brand new thing. They have a new address every time. So you just have to go in and edit the address. I don't think it's a huge amount of work. And maybe if somebody will know and can fix that for us. Or find a way to do it. Pecan Sandwich is sending me a link to a website that he said, northpointonline.tv. But that's not a that's not a Google Hangout, so that would be not really germane. Let's go to Big Sky, Montana. I'm not sure what your name is. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hello, Big Sky.
Hey, Leo.
What?
Brendan.
Hey, Brendan.
First-time listener, first-time caller.
Well, I'm so glad you called. Thanks.
Oh, it's all my pleasure. But yeah, I had a question. I'm going to Europe in February, 1st of February, for about a month to go skiing, and I'm hoping to be able to bring my Samsung Galaxy S3. As far as just using it for Wi-Fi and music and whatnot. Is this possible? I have no idea.
Who's your carrier?
Verizon.
It was real good right up to that point.
Oh, no. I just
So the problem with Verizon is that they use a technology called CDMA, which is not widely used worldwide. Okay. Most of the time when you travel, you want a GSM phone. Now, Verizon does have world phones. I don't know if the S3 is a world phone. Okay. In order for it to be a world phone, it would have to have, and by the way, I have an S3 that is a world phone, but it's just not on Verizon. It would have to have a SIM card slot so that when you got to the foreign nation, you'd put in a SIM card. Now, you could still use it, but you'll be paying international roaming, which is not cheap.
So can I put it on, like, airplane mode, and then...
If you wanted to use it just as a data phone, absolutely. And if that's actually, you don't have, it wouldn't be airplane exactly because you'd still leave the Wi-Fi on. But you can, in the settings, you can say, I don't want to use cellular data and I don't want to use cellular voice. You also, really? I mean, before you go, you can call Verizon and say, hey, give me an international data plan. Theirs is not great. You only get, I think, 250 megabytes and then another 200. You have to pay as you go, and it's not super cheap, but it does work. It's not that it doesn't work. If you're in an area, it may not work. Depends on the phone. And I don't know if the S3 is a world phone. I don't think it is on Verizon.
Okay.
So what you do is call Verizon and ask them. Say, can I use this in GSM countries? And they'll let you know. The iPhone, for instance, you can. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Okay, thanks you, Scooter X. Scooter X says they're planning on updating it, but it is not currently a world phone. That's why I always end up buying these unlocked Android phones.
Have you heard postage rates are changing again?
Oh, halftime. What a game. Let's see if Lisa's texted me. Yeah, 250 megabytes is not much. Yeah. Oh, yeah, she's texted me. Atlanta looks good. Started to paint nails. It's okay. Going to New Orleans is costly. I'm getting over it. Oh. She thinks it's the noise there. Might be. Yeah, well, it's always loud when you're in the other guy's house.
Saves us so much time, and with Stamps.com's discounts.
We weren't the home team because we weren't the best.
Right, Atlanta had the best record overall. We had the second best record.
Including a digital scale and up to $55 free postage. Go to Stamps.com before you do anything else. Stamps.com. Use my name, Leah. I don't need to tell you the way we were today is so different from the way we were
Right.
just a few years ago. You know, it's thanks to
Right.
that communicating, collaborating.
Atlanta had a very good record.
Thousands of people do what I do and use ShareFile.
You would probably still want to turn off data, but you're right. If you have a CDMA only phone, you don't need to turn off data in a non-CDMA area. But what if? And the problem is you just don't know. There's a small carrier, a small CDMA carrier in France, and it starts roaming on that network. It would be a very unpleasant surprise when you got home. Wi-Fi's fine. I told him that. The S Pen is very usable on the Note 2. It's better on the Note 2 than it was on the 1. It's very little latency. It works great.
You got to try ShareFile today. Sign up with my special offer. It's a full 30-day free trial.
Thank you, Bert. Let me look at this.
Click the microphone and use my name, Leo. ShareFile.com. Use my name, Leo. You're going to love
Oh, so at one point, Google did have a permalink. That's interesting. Ah, you could use an event. Create a Google Plus event far into the future. Make it an online event. Then take the Google Plus Hangout URL that is produced and use it over and over again until the date. Oh, I love it. That's a great hack. The ESET discount for Mac is as I posted, eset.com/Mac. Dvorak is not on Twit. It's D. White, Joanna Stern, and Andy Ignaco. Yeah, everybody said Lux. Lux didn't look great on the iPad, but I'll have to try it. Maybe it's the DLX2 that makes it good. The free Lux looked kind of junky. Isn't that an amazing workaround? Wow. Who would have thunk it? So thank you for finding that. And I will pass it along. Bumblebee Man. As soon as I get 168,000 coins, I can buy the Pimento Grove restaurant. Here's Homer wandering around with his Mr.
Marge show up?
Marge shows up when you build the Moe's, I think Moe's Bar. Yeah, oddly enough, you'd think she'd show up with something else, but no, I think it's Moe's.
I just built the orange house.
Yeah, you just have to follow the quest. The key on the quests is to have everybody available once in a day, and then a little exclamation mark.
Hey, Leo.
Yeah.
Hey, can you give me a DSL Extreme billboard here and then
Yes.
carbonite your library? Thank you.
And those uglies, my popular, and all these friends I've never liked. No one knows my circle name, so even good friends get handpicked.
Thanks to Bert in our chat room who found an answer to the question, how do I have a Google Plus Hangout with the same URL over and over again? And this comes from a website called singly.com. Apparently Google Plus or Google Hangouts used to have a permalink. That is an address that never changed. So if you had a Hangout every week, you could just give out the same address and it would be the same. But they dumped that. They stopped doing that. But there is a very clever workaround. I don't know if I would have thought of this. Using Google Plus Events. That's the invitation system built into Google Plus. So here's what you do. You create a Google Plus event sometime in the distant future. It could be next year, whatever. You know, you won't have to change this until that time comes. Make it 5 years from now. I don't know how far you can go up. Once you create that event, you know, the Sunday sermon, create the event, you will get a Hangout URL for that event. that URL will not expire until after the event expires. So it's good forever for whatever length of time you've made that event. It's good until next year. Clever, eh? Very clever. That's what we call a workaround. Thank you, Bert, for passing that along. The chat room is so great. If you want to join us in the chat room, head to the website, techguylabs.com. There's a link right there. Dolores is in Philadelphia. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Dolores.
Hi, Leo. How are you?
Wonderful. How you doing?
Oh, great. This is my first time calling, but I listen to you all the time, and I know nothing about computers.
Well, bless you. Thank you. It's nice to have you here. What can I do to help you today?
Well, I found one of my grandkids' computers, and it looks brand new. They hardly ever used it before they relocated, and I said I'm going to try to work it, but I can't find the boot disk or the instructions.
Yeah. So they left you the computer, but it's like leaving you the car, but not the keys.
Yes.
What happens when you turn it on?
It comes on and everything. I just don't know where to go from there.
Do you get a login screen that's asking you for a name and a password?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, and you can't call them and say, "Hey, what you know that computer you left here?"
I did that.
What's the password? They go, "I don't know what you're talking about, Grandma." What computer? What password? Sometimes, well, a couple of things you can do. I mean, they didn't leave you any disks, so it's not like you could, wipe out the drive and start over.
Right.
Sometimes, though, a couple of companies used to do this. When they set it up, they leave an administrator account, which is good, a boss account with no password on it.
Okay.
So if we can get to that, we'll be good. So the key on that is to press the F8 function key.
Okay. Are you saying F what?
8.
Letter number?
8.
F8.
F8. Think of fate. It is your fate to get this thing working. Okay. And then you're going to enter in the login name by hand, because F8 is going to give you a login screen with 2 blanks, right, for name and password.
Right.
And then you're going to use, let me ask the chat room, is it admin or administrator? I can never remember. Admin or administrator? I think it's administrator. And then hit return. You're not even going to enter a password.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not saying type F key and 8 key. There's a button, the row of buttons up at the top of the screen, the function keys, up at the top of the keyboard. There's the 8th one in, F8. Hit that.
The letter F and the number 8.
No. That's what I was afraid you might think that. There's actually a function key that's called F8. It's one key up at the top it's the top row of the keyboard.
Can you spell it?
Are you teasing me now? You spell it F8. So
look at the keyboard.
So on your keyboard, it's like a typewriter keyboard, but there's some little differences on a computer keyboard. Right above the numbers, which would be the top row on a typewriter keyboard, there's another row of kind of short square keys. And those are called function keys. And one of them, the 8th one, as it might happen, is F8. It'll even have it on the keyboard, the letter F as in fun, and 8 as in there's 8 is enough.
Okay.
Okay, so and if you tap that, when you're at the
F1, F2, F3, F4.
And keep going until you get to 8. Now, when you're looking at the login screen, not after you've already started up and it's just sitting there waiting for you to log in and you don't know what it is, hit that F8 key.
Then type administrator.
And then type administrator and then hit return.
And then hit return.
Are you doing it right now?
I'm trying to find the return key.
Oh, or enter.
I know nothing about computers.
Enter. Yeah, just the enter key. Or click OK. You can click OK, too, with the mouse.
Okay. All right, I'm going to try, Leo. You'll probably be hearing from me again because I'm going to become a geek.
I love it.
It's going to take me a while.
I love it. Good geeking to you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Dolores.
New Year.
Happy New Year, dear, and enjoy your new computer. Yeah, I will be hearing from her, won't I? So that's just a little thing that doesn't work on all computers, but for a while there was one brief shining moment. It's a stupid thing because it's basically leaving the computer wide open. If you get, and it was on XP. I don't think it happened after XP, but on XP, you get to the login, you type administrator and hit return. You'd logged in. And not only are you logged in, you have administrator rights, so you can change anybody's password. You can do anything you want. That is a horrible security flaw. But which has since been, of course, nobody does it anymore. But in the old days, I think what it is, as I remember, is when they're setting up these PCs, they create this dummy account as part of the install. It's a little bit of a backdoor. It's not a good thing. Terry is listening on iHeartRadio. Where are you listening, Terry?
I'm near Lake Tahoe.
Wonderful. And iHeartRadio's working for you now.
No, I have it on my desktop as well as my tablet.
Good.
I want to know, how do you access that file that says, do you want Windows to remember your password? Because I can't remember the password for iHeartRadio for the tablet. And it's apparently programmed into my desktop.
Right, so you don't even have to enter it when you go on the browser.
Right.
Because the browser remembers it. You can't access that file. What browser are you using, Internet Explorer?
No, Firefox.
No, it's all locked up.
You can't get to it.
Can't get to it, sorry. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. I'm Leo Laporte. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, the Tech Guy is just the tip of the iceberg. We do nearly 30 shows now on the Twit Netcast Network, and you'll find them all at twit.tv. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on Mac Break Weekly, iPad on iPad Today. You get your daily dose of tech news from Tech News Today, and our weekly roundtable show, This Week in Tech. It's all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next time with another great Tech Guy podcast. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.